Welcome everybody to the group alignment session for the Epic Attraction Tribe. I'm so super blessed to be able to do this for you guys. I can't even begin to explain this to you. This is a really wonderful thing that we've got, and the reality is that you guys get a chance to actually experience something of a massive level up. Like, I'm not sure if any of you guys have done anything like this before, if you've ever invested inside of numerology, or if you know, maybe in this case, I've only worked with Alayna here. I haven't worked with too many of you guys. But after this, I would expect and hope and pray that one day we can all work together privately, one-on-one. There is a story about you. There is a value and a list of components that show up like ingredients, okay? So if there's any artists out there, you'll know that there's colors on your palette, okay? If there's any like mechanics out there, you know that there's like tools in your shed. There are different pieces of the puzzle. If you guys are math wits, hey, then this is easy. There's a bunch of numbers on the chart, and we go through them. We get a chance to actually see how they affect in your lives. A couple of things that this is and a couple of things that this isn't. As a group effect, we get a chance to huddle together, and we get a chance to actually hold space for each other while we're going through some of the more difficult parts of this. Because, of course, there are situations in your life. There are limiting beliefs. There's, problems with confidence. Maybe you're not so secure in your voice, or you have trouble finding it. Sometimes we hide behind, emotions. Sometimes we hide behind things that we show up with power. So when we get a chance to do this, we're not going to shine the light on you in front of everyone. That's not how it works. I may end up doing that because of what I can see inside of the numbers you guys have given me for your birthday. But what I want to do is I'm going to introduce you guys to this right now. I want to introduce you guys to yourselves as a chart. Okay, so you guys saw this before, and here it is now. This is you guys as a unit. Okay, so I'm just going to close it up a little bit, make sure that I can see it, and I'll do one of these. I'm going to do one of these just to make sure that I have it. And then that way you guys can get a good look at yourselves and good look and see what's going on. So I'm just going to close this up for now. And I want everybody to have a really good idea as to what we're looking at. This is the collective. These are us. This is like your last minute to like tell me that I've messed up your name, or like I got it wrong. So we're going to go full name at birth. Okay. So this is not including married names. This is the name you use on Facebook, your personal profile, okay? So I know, and I noticed that some of you guys have married last names that you're not using. So in case, or like on Facebook anyway. So in case you're legally held something else, you can let me know this. I know that married names, people had some questions. Usually, guys, when I've got like a bunch of people inside of one team together, it's hard to go one-on-one. But when we have a group of this size, there's a lot of intimacy here. We can absolutely dive in. We can answer questions 2 or 3 times over. But I'd like to keep it like a carousel. Like, we're going to start with Sarah, and we're going to keep working our way around. You'll notice that this was made in order of payment. So for those of the people who absolutely – oh, sorry, I got cribs wrong again, didn't I? So I put 2 there. So what I'll do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to quickly just do yours, Kyle. I apologize for that. It was a typo. I'm allowed 3 mistakes. That was the second one. Just kidding. Okay, so I'm allowed as many mistakes as I want. So we go Kyle King Cribs. I'm just going to quickly fill this in to make sure that it's right. I'm going to go 573, and then I'm going to change this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Cool. Okay, so I have your guys' chart here. This is you. This is you. There's your birthday. We see the name you're born with. We see the name you use on Facebook. We see the name you use for business. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how you guys spell it. This is how I interpret it. These are the numbers that I got. If anybody's wondering about color codes and what's the deal with all of that? Like how do we interpret some of these things that are showing up? I'll tell you this. These are the 4 colors that you want to focus on. Whether it works well, it works smart, it's a mastery number, it works too hard, it needs alignment, or it's a severe challenge. Also, column F, column H, and column C. Those are the only 3 columns that apply. The column E and the column B, that's for me. Okay, I want to know what numbers they are. I've color coded them. So we get a chance to actually identify, hey, there are some life path 3s in here. Same with Kyle's name is a name path 3. It's so that I know and you guys know who is, you know, where and who makes up who. After we get introduced to ourselves, after I let you guys know sort of like what's going on, who's everybody, you get a chance to take a quick snapshot of who you are. What we're going to do is we're going to spend the second half of our time finding out which one of these are going to be powerful for you in business. Most of the time, you'll see me wanting to hang around numbers like these, but just because you have a number that's in the green doesn't mean you're not going to be any less powerful. And just because you have a number in the black doesn't mean that you're not going to be any less fun or any less loving. But we'll get to that when we get to the second part. I usually have this pre-done, but at the same time, after everybody's asking me all these questions, I figured, you know what, I was going to save myself some time and energy and just do this freehand as opposed to coming up with a bunch and then watching you guys just all be like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about this? Oh, what about this? I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Let's just figure out your guys' perfect vibration one at a time. And we're going to go around this circle as if we're all in a campfire together. We're going to go around this circle and we're going to actually like hold space for each other. Imagine that we're a tribe. Well, I guess you guys actually are a tribe, so there's not much imagination there. Imagine I'm part of your tribe. And so I'm helping you guys find what's the one name, what's the one vibration, what's the one that's going to put you into the fast lane, what's the one that's going to help get you out of obscurity. I hope that we don't go over 3 hours. With a group like this, I would imagine we're going to go at least 2, but hopefully under 3, depending on how powerful the information is, how many questions it is. But I will absolutely be here for all of your questions, okay? What this is not, so I'm just going to quickly, I'll see what I'll do. I'm going to pick on, do I not have, oh, here we go. I'm going to go into all sheets. I'm going to see if I can find Alayna's chart. And this is what a chart looks like on its own, okay? So when we're looking at a chart, when I'm looking at someone's numbers, I look at their first name, I look at their middle name, I look at their last name, I look at the name you use on your, social media or whatever your name is, and then I look at your birthday, and then I look at what kind of letters we can give you. Does anybody understand that this, well, obviously everybody can see this, this is a different shape than this. Inside of this context, okay? Inside of this context, you see 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers for every name, okay? We've got about 6 to 8 of them that show up, or different places of them inside, depending on, you know, whereabouts you are inside of your life. Just because I'm talking about one specific number and it doesn't show up in this list, doesn't mean that it's not going to show up somewhere in here, somewhere in one of the other names that we have that are not being able to show. I'm not showing your first name, your middle name, your last name, your married name, your maiden name, your full legal name, and da-da-da-da. Like, there is so much more to you than this that I wanted to basically pay attention to the fact that we're just looking at a quick cross-section of you all. This is what you guys look like if you guys are a team and a power. Now, this isn't all of you. There are certain people of you that are inside of the teams you're in that will never want to know this for political reasons, religious reasons, logical reasons. They may not be spiritual. That's fine. It does still affects them. But the reality is that you guys are getting in the know. You guys are going to get into the power of this because the power of awareness is everything. They say that once you know better, you should do better. So I believe that after understanding what this whole thing looks like for you, you guys are going to be set free from the, oh man, that holds you back. The everything that's basically holding you down. We're about to turn this on its head, and what it'll look like after this is kind of like if you guys have ever seen the picture of the elephant tied to a chair. This feeling is like you have let's see here, tied to a chair. Let's see if I can find a picture of this in case you guys have never seen this. There we go. This is a perfect example. They can probably get rid of this pretty quickly. Okay, this is going to be the reality of what we're dealing with after. You may still feel like there is something tied to you. You may still feel like there's a bondage or some sort of a thing holding you back. This is why I absolutely recommend, without a fail, that you work with me personally one-on-one, okay? And what I'm going to do for you guys, just to make it really easy, I wanted to basically make sure that I did this for you guys before we got too far. I have, I go like this. I'm just going to share this just so you guys can figure this out. You guys can understand that I really want to help you guys, and I absolutely want to work for you guys one-on-one, okay? When I do sessions, I go 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and I go 60 minutes and 90 minutes, okay? So what I do is I charge 88 bucks US here, I charge 156, I charge 268, and I charge 333. What I'm gonna do for you guys is if you guys book a 60-minute or 90-minute session, I'm taking off the price of what you paid today, okay? So in order for you guys to wanna work with me, you guys are gonna get a massive discount to be able to work with me one-on-one, and we can actually go and tell the story of your actual truth and the thing that is gonna help you to validate who you guys are. We will cover a lot of this. Because the group is smaller, every time I have a smaller group, we get a chance to cover more. So you may not need to see me after this. You may not need to see me after this. If you don't need to see me after this, guess what? This is a gift you can give to someone else. You can gift them the discount. If you guys have someone in your team, your spouse, your kids, anyone else you need to work with, and you don't need to take advantage of it yourself because you're like, hey, that's all I need. I got it. It was awesome. It was crazy. I love it. This is good. Then please allow me to let you give this to someone else. Just start a group chat and we'll help it out. Prize person on your team, doesn't matter. Whoever you want to talk about, I'm going to deduct this from the price that you guys have to pay for me, okay? So getting on to focus, what I plan to do for you guys is introduce you to the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm just going to do this just to make sure we cover our tracks. I'm going to count. I'm going to see, okay, we have a 1 in here. I see a 2 in here. There's a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9. I didn't even have to go very far. All of us have all of the numbers inside all of our names. And obviously, right, there's only 9 numbers. It's like 3 numbers per. It'd be pretty difficult to be missing one, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes you're missing the entrepreneur number, or sometimes you're missing the number for confidence. Sometimes you got an overload of likes to fight with others. There is this inside of all of this, okay? So I can understand and appreciate if this is going to be very confusing for you guys. This is mostly for me. This is mostly my roadmap. I could do this without showing you guys this, but I want to give you guys a visual just in case some people are visual learners. This is a chance to actually see it in front of you, to see a little bit into my side of the world. I also do teach this. So in case you guys do or have interest in learning how to line up names, learning how to count numbers, learning how to understand what the colors mean and to have the flavors of them, reach out to me and let me know. I'm going to be putting a group together very shortly just in case anybody wants to do that. I don't want to hold on to this information. I want to share with it with other people. So I'm going to give you guys a crash course. We're going to take a look at these numbers and we're going to see them in ourselves. We're going to see numbers in ourselves that don't show up in your 4 numbers there. We're going to see numbers that you have that someone else has as well. So when you're going through something, if you've got a question, if you guys want to speak up or say something, you're probably going to help one of your tribes clanswomen. With that, I don't know what you want to call this, but you're going to help someone out in your team just by speaking up and being vulnerable. I also intend to post this on side of my content page for a replay so that we can share this with others. It would be an absolute amount of courage for you guys to do that for others, if that's okay. If one of you says that it's not, I will not post it. I promise you that. But come on, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go nice and light. We're going to start with these numbers, and we're going to conclude with an understanding of what numerology is. This is the math class that you guys never got in school, okay? And I'm so blessed, absolutely, completely honored that you would invite me on this journey with you, that you would trust me with the money that you work hard for, who had to hire babysitters, who had to call people in, who had to put stuff to the side. You guys are investing in yourselves. I absolutely want to show up to make sure that I'm helping you guys grow. Because if not, I mean, what can really be said, right? I absolutely want to make sure that I play a part in your success. So when you guys do this for me, I promise you guys something. By the end of this, you won't be the same people anymore. You're going to be polished up. People are going to notice something different. Probably it's going to be because your name looks different on social media, but we're going to go through this. So after I go through 1 to 9, actually, you know what, let's just squeeze this up here so that we don't need to have so much space. Let's do that. I'm a little OCD. So let's go and introduce ourselves to each other. I'm going to go through the numbers. Okay, after I go through the numbers, I'm going to go through each one of you individually and give you a snapshot view of who you are. So the first things we're going to see is 1 to 22, okay? These numbers show up to help us identify different core pieces of who we are and what we basically stand for in life. If we see number ones, okay, and any questions, you guys let me know. If we see number ones, and you guys take a look at the one vibration, let's just call them out. We've got January here, we've got the 10th, we've got October, another January of 1954, we've got the 28th of June, we also have Susana Bajo Marcos, and then we also have it again. Then we see Nicole, we see Maka, and who else has it? We see Sarah. You guys showing up with ones. Sarah again, both Sarahs, have ones inside of their chart at some point in level. You guys may also see this, and this is most of you, but you like Maricela, you may see some of this inside of your chart. It could be inside of one of your names or the other one. I think it's inside of Maricela. So like for example, I'm just going to do hers just because I thought I saw it when I just was putting it together. Maricela has a 1 in her number, okay, in her name. There's a 1 in there, but it's not showing up here, okay? So perfect example, you're going to feel that some of this applies to you, okay? So be very careful. Be like, oh, he was talking about this number, but doesn't matter. We all hold all the colors. We're all colorful little rainbows, okay? And we're absolutely going to see each other inside of this. We're going to see ourselves inside of others. And this is going to be the most powerful explanation of what's really happening underneath the roots of everything. So as we take a look at the life path, or the number 1, we are going to take a look and see, let's see, do I have it? Yeah, okay. We're going to take a look at the junior numbers, okay? 1, 2, and 3 are junior numbers. They are all numbers that hold a sensation of presence right now, enjoyability of the moment, okay? They're not really too far thinking. They're going to be thinking about the present moment, okay? So when we take a look at junior numbers, they show up that way. When we take a look at intermediate numbers, they show up 4, 5, and 6. And then we take a look at 7, 8, and 9 to be advanced numbers. And we look at 11, 22, 33, doesn't show up because it's all in black. These are mastery, okay? So there's a value inside of all of these different shelves or distances on the street, but we want to make sure that we understand this, okay? When I take a look at number 1, I see the leader. I see the value inside of you that wants to stand up and that wants to go and achieve what it wants to do. Leadership actually occurs in the number 1. It occurs in the number 5, the number 4, the number 6, the number 8. It's not just the number 1, okay? But it is the ego. It is the sense of self. It is the independent. It's the alpha woman inside of you. Like Sarah Mariposa has a lot of 1s in her chart. We've got because she's born in October. Maka also is born in January. We have Sarah born in January. There is a value of leadership inside of you guys. Independence, confidence. There could be a vision for your future. When we see the 1, it's like nothing else matters. I gotta go. When we see this 1, we see people who are going to be self-concerned. In the negative side of this can show up self-absorbed. Now, not to say that, oh my gosh, she's so self-absorbed. That could be a response, if you've ever felt that before in your life, to ego preservation. Perhaps maybe there's a time where you had to protect yourself, and perhaps you had to stand up for who you are and take your own space. Okay, so in case that ever has come to bite you in the bum, sometimes with the 1s, they don't think things through. Okay, they're just like, shoot first, don't ask any questions. Like, let's get going. Let's keep this thing moving. This is the 1. We have drive. We have the absolute power of God right here. This is the I am presence. When this thing is in the negative, because every light casts its shadow, right? Every number has a positive side, a balanced side, and a negative side, an unbalanced end to it. So on the shadow version of the 1, we see people who will use others for their own advantage. Again, ego preservation. I don't judge any of you guys. I have a 1 inside of my chart, okay? So I know what it's like to stand up for leadership, and I have a lot of negative 1s inside of my name. I know what it's like to not care about other people. It bites you hard, and you'll learn that if you haven't already. That feeling of like, shoot, I have to take my time to make sure that what I say is going to positively affect others, and not just thinking about myself all the time. Or on the negative side of this can feel super negative against the sense of self. My negative 1s, I wouldn't accept who I was. I wouldn't pay attention to who I am. Like Susana Bajo Marcos, That's a difficult number to run. It's in a severe challenge because of its value of over the top sensation, or actually it's hard to say over the top because the ones in there are being dragged down so hard that this may be even hard enough for her to even see her own power. When we have negative ones that are showing up in your name, Aaron McEnany, who else has one? Sarah Songbird. You guys may be doing real great work, but you won't look at the mirror and actually take a minute to take a look and see how powerful you are. This can be one of the most biggest blind spots, is to go through life, go through leadership, go through power with a blindfold on and not have the level of vision. So somebody wants to say hi to you, oh, you're doing so great and this and that. You're like, I don't see it. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't quite get that. That can be a very big, powerful, motivating factor to understand that, hey, there's a rampant one sitting in my chart. We get a chance to see these, and the level of independence is unbelievable in this. You guys are a bunch of self-starters. This is a bunch of people in here who are going to do what they got to do for them own. This isn't like, oh, we got to build Alayna's business. This is like, no, I'm building my business. If you got the ones, there's a sense of identity saying, this is mine, and this is my gig. This is my shot. This is what I'm going to do with it. So I absolutely appreciate and applaud you. My name, Balwant, that's a 1. My name, Bobby, that's also a 1. My birthday is a 28, that's a 1. So I have a lot of these in my chart, and they've come to bite me quite a bit of times in my life. But of course, numerology came into my life. I got a chance to change my vibration. My name looked like Sarah Songbird or Aaron McEnany. I'm powerful in business. I know I can do this, so what the hell's going on? Why can't I do this? Why is it that every time I do something, it just goes down the drain? Why is it every time I do something, it doesn't amount to anything? This is basically what we're dealing with when we're dealing with negative ones. In the light, in the positive power, people want to follow you, and you don't care. People don't want to follow you, and you don't care. Because the one is like, look, I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm absolutely going to be driven on my own. This is the value that we have inside of a powerful positive one. It would be nice if it was combined with another number that said, look, I don't care if you do or do not, but I do care because obviously I'm here to do something powerful for you and with you. So we want to see ones come into balance. Not everybody needs them. If you look at the number option, you'll see here, I use them 4 times. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4 different numbers that you can use are going to show up with the number 1 in them. So don't get too excited in case you're missing one. I also will say this, if you got a lot of 1s in your chart, you're probably not looking for another 1 in your name, okay? 1 is good enough. The 1 wants to stand alone. Even Dr. Seuss says you got to be odd to be number 1. So you may not want to hold on to a bunch of 1s in your vibe because of the fact that, hey, there's only room for 1 of them. And that's fine, okay? So we've got the leader, we've got the ego, we've got the self, the I am presence. And just for the sake of this session, guys, I'm going to ask you guys to suspend belief about what things mean. I love the word ego. And coming from someone who has 1s in his chart, a lot of them, go figure, right? I just think that it shouldn't be out of, like on the loose like an angry dog. You want to treat your ego like it's a fine blade by your side. And it's a power when you don't need to use it. The powerful part of your ego is to stay your blade. Instead of just cutting people sharp with your words, I don't care about you, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. And that can be destructive. Whereas we see the power in 1s, it's the feeling of, look, I know I can do this. I know I got this. I'm not looking for validation from anyone else. I understand my right to be and my right to understand who I am, okay? This is paramount, absolutely paramount. I encourage you all to understand that it's not just the number 1. We see it again in the 2nd. We see it again in the 3rd grouping. We see it again in higher numbers. So in case you do feel like, hey, that sounds a lot like me or what I'd like to be, then pay attention to the fact that, hey, you know what? Hold it with pride. There is a space for you guys to be selfish. And if you guys don't take care of yourselves, number 1, how do you expect your business to grow by itself? You're going to be a babysitter. And that's not fun. I've been there and I've done that inside of my own Enagic business. Just to give you guys a background, I've been with Balaj since 2014, okay? I've got 114 sales in my group, and I'm not ever stopping. I'm with you guys forever. I'll show you guys some of my checks. This is before I stopped getting mail. I basically just have my PA take care of my PA. My mom opens my mail, and I make her do it. And I've dubbed her my PA because she told me to become a plumber if I liked water so much. And I'm like, hey, Mom, how's it going? She sends me messages on my WhatsApp to tell me that I got money in the mail. I'm like, should I change my address? Nah. That's what the 1 will do. The 1 will hold on to a stinky little piece of its ego, being like, you didn't believe in me? Well, I got to show you everything that happens inside of my business. So if you guys have a 1, need one, or know one, or have one, step up to your power, step into it, and understand that you do have something of quality, that if you don't show up, someone else is going to be upset or not upset. Someone else is going to be missing out in life because of it. So just pay attention to that, because when the negative ones come up, it's like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, and I'm not the type, and my voice isn't strong enough. It absolutely is, guys. And the way that this looks, you guys are all going to get names that are either purple, green, or blue by the end of this. Or if you already have a purple, green, or blue name, you can switch it if you need to. Like Alayna's like, I think I may need to go a little bit higher now. I want to step into my power as a leader. She we connected in Q4 of 2018. So imagine what's happened in the last 2 quarters of life, in the last half a year, 6 months. You may be growing now, Alayna, as a group leader, and think, you know what? I'm ready for my next shift. I'm ready for my next evolution. And I wouldn't doubt it, because after that time, you've probably grown in and out of your name. There may be more for you. You may find, to see what else is available, think, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to stay where I'm at, and no need to rock the boat. Okay, like for me, myself, it's been 5 years, and I'm still where I'm at. I plan on changing my name very soon, legally. But right now, my legal name still is, it's still Balwan Francisco Perihar. It's still something that's unbalanced. And in case any of you guys are wondering, what makes a name balanced? If you guys take a look at what we've got going on here, I'm just going to quickly draw your attention to this algorithm. The way that these 3 numbers show up is a 3-digit code. I add the vowels, I add the consonants together, and then I get a total. So I separate them first, and then I add them together. So when you guys take a look at this, they all end in 666, 8888, 888, 66, 88. They all end in 6 or 8, okay? So we want to have a really powerful feeling to think that, hey, these numbers are actually going to work. Some of them you'll see that end in 4. I've still given them a kind of a cool number because, hey, they absolutely work, but we came here to succeed. Work will only take you so far. After you guys are done working, you're going to want to have a effortless 4-hour work week, as they say in the book, okay? So you have a very powerful step forward now into understanding that when I'm balancing something out, if it shows up with a 2 or a 5 or a 3, it's going to look like it's red, because it doesn't actually help you in business. We'll talk about what numbers actually do what when we get to them there. But 1, ego. 1, sense of self. The identity is here, okay? Then we gotta go into number 2. If anybody has any questions about the 1, feel free, which is an open space. Let's talk about the number 2. The number 2 is a vibration for partnership. If 1 was for the self, it's logically deducible that the number 2 is for the partner. Like, think about that. That's just the math. Like, oh, I'm by myself. Hello. Oh, hey, how are you? Nice to see you. Good. How are you? Oh, great. These numbers now show up as connection, partnership. Someone who wants to be together with someone else, someone who's supremely loyal, like Deborah Louise Descharnay. That's a wonderfully powerful name for partnership and connection to others. Unfortunately, it's also a massive level of challenge, being that number actually sacrifices the self before it ever thinks of it. So the biggest problem of the 1 was never sacrificing for the self, sacrificing everyone else for its own self-identity, whereas the other one sacrifices the self-identity for everyone else. I'm in here. Look at my life path, 11. That's a number 2 if you add up 1 plus 1. Mastery does that to us, okay? But when we see 2s in people's charts, we can see that this is going to make a coach. This is going to make some sort of a fine person to work with, maybe a mentor. Perhaps maybe they just want to do the work with you, accountability buddies. We have no life path 2s inside of our chart. It starts at 3. But we do have some name path 2s. Let's see, Deborah's 1. And let's see, how about inside of your business name? Susanna B. Marcos, Harmony Rose West. These are number 2s in there. No 2 is going to align with a name. It's too small. You think of a shape. You want to have a base. If it's a vase or a vase and it's sitting on 2 points at the bottom, it's going to fall over. If it's sitting on a single point at the bottom, it's going to fall over. But if you've got a base that looks like an octagon or that looks like a 6-digit side and then it goes up, it's going to support the shape. It's going to stand on its own. So we have to pay very close attention to think that these numbers are absolutely going to either work really powerful for us or they're going to give you the challenge and the run of your life, okay? Because the 2 will, and guilty, sacrifice everything it has for the other. That's just me. That's exactly why I feel like I'm the one to do this, because I know how much I care about this. I know what this is. This is, this is the, hey, be quiet when you're a kid. This is the one that got the, oh, you're not good at that, or like, stop doing that, or no, we're not going to let you do that. You have to do this. The forcing of someone else's goals, dreams, desires, God bless our parents, come to attack us as adults when they're long gone and they're off enjoying their lives or in some better place. And here we are fulfilling our destiny based on the lack mentality, the stories we've told ourselves, and the stories that have been told to us that we just say, well, I guess that's just the way it is. I mean, for me, it was like, well, if I don't do good, I'm just going to get slapped in the face. That's what my parents used to do to me. And I'm like, and then we will overcompensate. So then what happens? Well, I'm never going to do that to my kids. I'm never going to do that I would never do that to my kids. And then what happens? They grow up spoiled. And then they're like self-entitled. I'm not saying you should slap your kids. What I'm saying is the fact that we deal with this every day. We have to find a way to break the rhythm. And I believe that this technology will actually help break that rhythm, because now you guys get a chance to know and figure out, what do these numbers actually do and mean? So loyalty, huge for the 2. Great friend. If you've got a 2 in your chart, you're probably running to the aid of other people very, very easily. Kyle King Page, that's a powerful looking 2 in there. How about Sarah Elizabeth Hansen? Very powerful 2 in there as well. Okay, so we see that there. How about Marciela Rodriguez? A -5. Harmony Rose West. Even Balwan Francisco Pereira. We have a -2 in there, which means that, oh crap, someone's looking. I have to satisfy them. I have to support them. I have to do something good for them, so that no Page in my business name. Okay, cool. So what I'll do is like this, and we'll do like this. Okay, thank you. And we see the 2s, great coaches. You guys are good. You're accountable. If you say something you're going to do for someone, you'll do it. If it's for yourself, you may lose the motivation very easily in case you're trying to do something for yourself. And next thing you know, push comes to shove, there's nobody there to be with you. You got to do this on your own. This is a lone venture. Chances are you may be like, forget it. I'm just going to go get comfortable and be with my friends, or be with other people who I can know, like they know me, they like me. And they support me. They support my story. These people are good at conversations, and don't be afraid to admit that you probably hang around with the opposite sex more than you do with your own gender. And granted, 90% of my business is women. I'm a life path 2, or 11 in this case, but I see it, and I see it absolutely to think that's what the life is about, right? A to B, men to women. We want to connect with each other. We want to bridge that gap. We absolutely want to serve each other in that regard. This is the number 2. On the negative side of this, again, we have people who can't stand up for themselves. They will fight tooth and nail for their best friend. But when it comes to themselves, it's like, oh, no. Don't worry about me. Oh, it's all good. I don't worry. That's not any way powerful to treat yourself. I'll tell you that for sure. But hey, what can we do? This is why we're learning about this now. I just want to let you guys all know you didn't change these names, unless Sarah came out and was like, Sarah Ashley Fishletter, and just like, you didn't do that. Then daddy gave you that name. Like that's a composition of their pride and joy and ego of them. That's my girl. That's what I want to name her. She's born. Oh my God. We're all dealing with it. Okay, so no parent bashing. All right, no community did this to me. Chances are you got a shitty story somewhere. I get it. We all do. I used to be addicted. I used to be self-loathing. I had all this crap. I just always got fired. Half of you guys know my story. You watch my social media for long enough, you'll see me parading it around. Well, no more. Not anymore. Different topic. I went to an event, and I basically resolved all those stories that I had in mind, but I like to bring them back for people just to know you're not alone. Just in case you're dealing with addiction. Just in case you're like, man, I hope this, like, which one of you is like, you'll put up your hand for this. I hope this works. I hope this gets me out of debt. I hope this is the thing that makes me, successful in life. What if this doesn't work? I pray that this is the thing that I can use. And then think of the person who already decided that this wasn't going to work for them. Like, no, this is that numerology stuff. This is some weird thing. Who knows what this is? I'm not going to be in for this. And like, I can't even begin to tell you, you can't build a car without math. You can't build a house without math. You can't go to the gas station without it. You can't do anything in this world without actually some form of math, whether it be out in your face or it be, you know, inside of the distant realm of numerology. Like, what even is this? Where does it come from? I have no idea. But all I can tell you is that if I look at a tree, I can count it. If I look at a flower, I can see an algorithm. If I look at two kids playing, I can see a mix of numbers, the same way an artist would use paint on a paintbrush, on a canvas, same way the universe is painting you by numbers, okay? So 2, my favorite number, I love it. You guys are loyal, okay? Let's be friends. Oh, of course you want to be friends. These are your friends. These are the people that you absolutely would love to converse with. You say, hey, how's it going, Hug? How are you? Good. How are you? Great. How was it? Things. It's a conversation that takes place. Whereas the 1, hate to live up to my numbers right now because I talk all day and I basically just talk all the time. It's the people who basically talk all the time. And I have that inside of my chart as well. So I absolutely encourage anyone to jump in and like, you know, to tell me anything they need to or give me some sort of insight. It's fine. Let's take a look at the number 3. This is where we start to take a look at some people. Now, this is actually kind of cute to think that we start with a life path 3, Sarah, and then we end with a life path 3 inside of Alayna as your leader. The life path 3s are going to be the people who are going to show up with love and joy. They're the graduated version of the junior. They're like the top of the kiddie pool. They're your artists, the people who make you laugh, the ones who you just adore, the beauty, the joy, the pleasure, the creativeness. We have dancers, writers, singers, poets, the people out there who want to, the interior designers, the people who are out there who want to express their loving creative capability and just have fun. Sarah's got a double 3, okay, because she's got a 3 inside of the January 3rd. We have Kyle as well, also born on the 12th. You guys see how this works, okay? Sarah's also, Miss Mariposa is also born on the 3 year. November 30th for Deborah. Maricella is going to be born in December. And of course, Alayna, your life path 3 in front of you guys, who doesn't want to be on her team, right? Like, this is like a bunch of boss babes. She's going to attract a lot of really powerful women who are going to look good and do good. That's one of the biggest things we see in the 3 is that there's going to be a big kid or, you know, like a child that's inside of your energy that doesn't want to get older. So we're going to go run. We're going to dance so much in the loving number, in the loving side of the 3. So welcome to the light side of the 3. On the light side of the 3, we have all of those wonderful things, plus people who will do anything for you to see you smile, people who love romance, people who love dolling up and looking good. Perhaps maybe you're addicted to tattoos. Who knows? You've got 3s in your chart. You're not getting older, okay? You're not going to look your age ever. And it's going to be like, can I see some ID? And you're like, I'm almost 40, holy shit. Or I'm even more than that. And it's like, you know, you're not identifying with your age because junior numbers are like, I don't want to get older. I just want to enjoy things right now. We see also the number 3 shows up as a vibration of love. So it's the introduction to love that we see inside of this number. We see a value of, I just want to enjoy, I want to adore and be adored. So in case you guys have lots of 3s in your chart and you can't, you're helpless to you're mad at your husband or your spouse, your boyfriend, or your partner, and suddenly you melt away because he or she brings you flowers or candies or a toy or a gift or something that, just because I was thinking of you, and these small little sweet texts, and you're like, oh, I'm supposed to be mad at this person and I can't because they're being really sweet to me. They maybe want to take you dancing, or they just know how to just twist your buttons because we're just butter. We just melt in terms of when someone else comes into play. Hey, I get it. I understand. Let's put it this way. The world is a more beautiful place with you guys in it. And most of you guys have it. Okay, I'm looking at this. I'm like, well, there it is. So far, everyone has it. Okay, I see some people without it. But they're probably showing up somewhere else. That's not a big deal if it is or it isn't. But now let's take a look at the shadow. So we're going to go underneath this, okay? The dark side of the 3 gives up what is important to it in the sake of keeping someone else happy, even if that person isn't important to them, especially if they have something important that they need to do. Oh, excuse me while I give up on my own dreams, goals, and ambitions to go and help and serve someone else. Please don't take any one of these numbers and be like, that's not me, that's not me. You have about 30, 40 different numbers in your chart. So if you have an over excess of these, I get it. If not, hey, then you're lucky. But I would say everything in moderation. To have a full palette and not be missing anything would be one of the most powerful things that you could ever have inside of your life, is to make sure, hey, at least I know I've got it. At least I know it's there. Whether it works or not, it's all in the mix and the spice of life, okay? So these are your junior numbers. They're going to be straight to the point right here, but it gets a little bit complicated with the 3 when it gives up everything for whoever's in front of it. Like, oh, baby, please don't cry, and here, no, and like, oh, it wants to serve others over itself. This can get old and tired really fast. So Kyle King Cribs, January 3rd, 88, April 26th, 71. Man, I love North America. I'm so used to speaking in Australian. I gotta like put the numbers and the data. Never mind. But I like that we're all in the same time zone. This is cool, or at least hopefully most of us are. What we get a chance to see is that the 3, although it's very beautiful, although it's very fun, super charming, super social, on the opposite end, we see someone who may not be standing up and petitioning for themselves. They may just be completely dismissing that just so they can help someone else. And this is the fall, okay? You notice in the 1, hey, no sacrifice. Nope, you're the sacrifice. I'm going to go where I need to go in my life. Screw you, bye. And in case any of you guys have done that and found yourself, through divorce, or maybe they don't want to be in that relationship, or maybe when you're fighting with someone, you're like, bye, screw it, I don't need this. I'm out of here. Bang, you just slam the door and you're gone. Because the 1 is like, I don't care. The 2 is like, well, I care. Well, of course I care. The 3 is like, whatever you need. And it keeps on getting worse. Now, we will see some power inside of this as the wavelength goes bigger and bigger as it goes on. But with the 3, this is no different than anything else. As we get older, as we get higher in the number deck, we will see a vibration of sacrifice until we get to the 9, where we see the ultimate sacrifice, the sacrifice of self, okay, for all. Now, let's take a look at the number 4. When we see number 4s, we're taking a look at Nicole doubly, because Nicole's got a 4 name. Her name shows up in yellow, and she has a 4 life path. Then we see Erin Beth McInerney Dela Cruz, also is a, sorry, we have to change that. I saw too many 4s. So we're going to go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're just going to do it like this. And this is the one I wanted. Oh, wait, that's right. It's still an 8, but, oh, wait, wrong color. That's right. It's supposed to be like this. I even mixed up my own color coding. I should find 4 more colors or 6 more colors besides the rainbow to do this. But we have a 4 name. Alayna Marie Nath is also a 4 name. We have a Life Path 4. Sarah Mary Posa is also a number 4 inside of there as well. So we see these numbers showing up. The 4 is practical. Okay, we're not gonna ever discredit a hard day's work. When you have that 4 inside of your chart, this thing is going to be absolutely powerful for you to get that thing done. Okay, like practical. Do not give me any of this wishy-washy, high in the pie sky idea, pipe dream of feel like, show me the details. I want to know the real. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm just something's being pulled over my head. That 4 wants to know the absolute, like, definitive of things. These are people who want to take notes. These are people who like Alayna's taking notes, I think. It looks like she's doing that. Whereas, and look at her name, Alayna Marie Nath, she's got a 4 in there. She's like, absolutely. Oh, yeah, no, and this will help you think. This will help you actually express. I mean, heck, look, I was doing a Go Live earlier. Look at all the notes my little daughter took, right? Just kidding. But the reality is that, like, we get a chance to see. I was me when I was frustrated. No, I'm just kidding. But there is a value inside of the 4 to stay technical, practical, pragmatic, logical, no bullshit attitude. You're not getting anything past these people. They're going to have a healthy level of skepticism. They're going to be not tolerant of you if you're late or confused or you don't understand. It's like, come on, it's not that hard. Just figure it out. Be there. So in case you guys see a little bit of both inside of Alayna, one's be super sweet, but don't mess with me. It's like, oh my gosh, let's all have fun. Like, let's get this shit done. So there's 2 values that show up in there, and we start to get a really good feel as to what this is really showing up for inside. And then, of course, she's born in April. Like, there's a wonderful feeling inside of there that this was you for the first 27 years of your life. Smart and present and pretty, right? Like, all of that combined, all in the very first go in life. Like, not afraid to work hard, not afraid to go and learn something, not afraid to get educated. Then we get to the negative side of the 4. cynical, skeptical, can be closed-minded. You got these things run around. Like, let's see, does anybody have them? Sarah Fishletter shows like the only number 4 that's like running rampant that doesn't work. Bobby is also a -4. Negative levels of discipline. Perhaps maybe we want to be on time, and it hurts us to think that we're always late or that we can't, quite hold the balance down. But if you have a 4 in your chart and it's a good solid place, and it's showing up in blue or it's showing up in green, let's just make sure we change these two. I want to do it like this to make it nice and uniform. We see values that show up for power, like Kyle King. That's a good level 4. It actually works pretty well. Will it work forever? I would say we could upgrade it if you wanted to. But do you want to? We'll talk about that when we get to names that we can change them to, okay? When we see this 4 on the negative side, those are the people who didn't make it here tonight. Dare you. Go and, do a birthday roll call and just add them up and see how many times you see a 4 in the group of your people of your group who didn't make it. And I get it. This is a spiritual thing, right? Like spirits and energy and vibration. You lost the 4 right then and there. And I'm glad that, you guys have decided, hey, no, I want to take a look at this, those of you with the 4 in your chart. Because after you see this, you're like, wait a second, there's math here? Like, this isn't just the sort of hocus pocus, like spiritual mumbo jumbo. There's actually like a vibration inside of this. I'm super intrigued now. How the hell did you do that? This is the vibration that we get a chance to see inside of the 4, okay? So once they figure it out, they will absolutely figure it out. Once you screw them over, you're done. They're done with you. And there's no going back, okay? Like, you've lost their trust. First impressions are everlasting, especially with the 4. They're going to be up and early. Early bird catches the worm here. These are the people who have got discipline inside of their life. And also, we're in April. It's a 4-month. So in case you guys have been feeling that push to get things done, this is the reason why. It's because we're in a 4-month in April. Also, that pesky limiting belief. Oh me goodness. Let's take a look at this. Let's do this. Number 3 shows up with a single heart. Okay, that's my little heart emoji from the texting days. If you guys remember those before emoticons. I don't remember what happened to emoticons. What is emojis? Emoticons. ICQ. Remember? High five. Anybody back then? Anyway, so we've got value between, this is what a heart looks like, okay? Then we have the 4 shows up as a $sign. I'm super OCD. I'm just going to do this. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. So we have 4 showing up with the introductory version of wealth. Now, when we see the introductory version of wealth, we see loyalty. We see people who are going to be good at their job. They work hard, but it's kind of like a crank. Like, you listen to your favorite music, like 200 years ago, you had to put a needle on it and you had to crank this thing. And then this thing would take this thing around and it would make music out of a horn. This is how they're like, oh, stop the music. Go and play the music. I'm sorry. And you have to keep on playing it like it was a crank, like a Jack in the Box. But that's what happens when you're with your body. If you keep on cranking like that, sooner or later, your body's going to go, I need a chiropractor. I need to go to physio. I need a acupuncture, acupressure. Something in your physicality is going to drive you insane because of how hard you push yourself, how hard you push your body. You're treating it like a horse. And that feeling is like, I can do this. Let's run. I'm never done. Up first, out, like down last. I can't go to sleep if the kitchen's dirty, if there's dishes in there, or I'll just if it's showing up in red, I'll just get depressed if the dishes aren't there because I want it to be clean, but I can't seem to get my shit together. This is what the numbers show up with those number 4s, okay? You'll see a couple of you 4s have a blue number. Kyle, Nicole, Alayna. These number 4s are going to work, but they could do better. They could work better. I get it. That's fine. But you guys are solid. We trust you. We trust your discipline. We know that you're going to have a no BS, beat around the bush. No, just go right in there and tell me exactly what you need to hear. And it's like, sorry, truth hurts. Let's go. Come on, let's do this. And this is where we get a chance. This isn't the heart anymore. We're now focusing in what the vibration looks like at the head level, okay? So this is what we get a chance to see when we're looking at the 4. Wonderful number. A little hard to deal with when it's a life path. I get it. But at the same time, we're so grateful for you, Nicole, because you're like, Nicole's got it the hardest. Let's just call it what it is. Her name is a 4, and her life path is a 4. So when things aren't going your way, it can get almost itchy to think, man, is it that freaking hard? Like, just get this together. Like, am I missing something here? The 4 is going to be like, look, like, oh, you're calling in sick again? grab a Halls, grab some tea, like tough it out, like let's go. And would probably, have a pride shock if you had to take more than a sick day a year. Like that feeling of the four is like, no, no, no sign of weakness. Cannot have sign of weakness. Cannot show emotion. It's going to be solid and steady and strong. The most powerful piece of the four, you guys stand for foundation. There are four corners to a table. This is an even shape. This is the shape where things can start to materialize. The problem with it is that you didn't want to, talk to every one of your leads, and every one of your team's leads and do all of their work for them. Like, Alayna, stop it. Like, there's a value inside of the old version of your business that's like, oh, you know what, I'll do that for you. Or let me show you how it's done. Or you're doing it wrong. And so we see those fours, they want to control that because if you want a job done right, you do it yourself. That's a fast way to get rich slow, okay? And hey, again, I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's your fault you were born in April. What were your parents thinking back in whatever month it was when they were bouncing around? Like, come on, this isn't, you can't possibly identify with that and be like, ouch. You have to understand its power and also know its limitation. So we know that this is powerful, but at the same time, we're also feeling a little exhausted with that number. Now, as we go to the number, and it also shows up, again, leadership. So to have that inside of our charts, we know that these are people that you want to follow because they're right there in the front with you, working with you. They're not sitting from the back like the one or like some of the other numbers. And not to say that you guys do this, but there may be people who lead from a distance. If you got lots of fours in your chart, you're probably leading from the trenches. And you're like right there with someone. We're doing this. Let's do this. I've done some group charts where the leader wasn't even present for the call. So I'm like, that's all good. It's no big deal. However you guys get down, that's duplication. Can you imagine being like someone's training your team and you're not even there? I would say that it's the most valuable information, especially for a four in your name, Alayna, to know what's happening in your team. You get a chance to take inventory. She's going to take notes on you guys, and she's going to know how to deal with you guys. Well, you're all going to know how to deal with each other. Let's put it that way. But the reality is that the four, we ain't skipping leg day. This is absolute foundation. We know that there's power in this, and we appreciate you guys. And I want you to really hear me when I say that appreciation is there, because this is a freaking thankless number. This is without you, like whoever walks into a house and be like, wow, this is such a nice foundation you have in here. They don't care. They're all looking at the decor and the moldings and everything is happening in the ground. The house wouldn't be there were it not for what was sitting on the ground. And if you test me, go to a part of the world where people's homes get washed away in floods. It's sad. It's crazy to think that how much we rely on our foundations, and when they're not there, it's like the world is ending. So much, much, much appreciation for the hard road that you have. Sarah, we cannot have this for your business. I'm just going to let you know straight up, that name does not help you in business. It is the fastest way to make money slow, as I say. So inside of business, they're going to be like, oh, that sounds too hard. Or this sounds like a job. Or this I don't know if maybe it works for you, but they're going to start being pulled all of their limiting beliefs in tow so that they can kind of talk themselves out of it when we see this number 4 showing up. Let's take a look at the number 5. Now, this is a fun one. Who's got 5? We have Sarah and Aaron. Okay, so Mariposa and Maka, are showing up with Life Path 5s. Then Sarah, Ashley, Fish Letter, and Maricela is also showing up with the number 5. We have Harmony Rose West has a star under 5. I think that's about it. Warriors. We got our fighters in here. We got the people in here who will absolutely run. They do not ask questions. They just shoot. They are the bullet. These are our travelers, the adventurers, the nomads, the gypsies, the people who just can't sit still. And they just, I want to click and fidget something. If you notice, I talk a lot with my hands, and I'm like, oh, what's up? Whoa, back to you. It's because I have a 5 inside of my chart. My bell, this first number shows up with a 5. It's because we want to stay in motion. So I'm a very vocal talker. I talk with my hands, and I express that. And we see this vibration showing up on the positive side. This level of leadership has a lot of passion, war paint on it. I'm gonna do all this crazy stuff for my family or for my people or for anybody who is experiencing hurt or pain. I'm gonna show up for them. I'm gonna absolutely show up for them, and I will fight for them. This warrior vibration shows up. We have someone unmuted. Do we have a comment? I think that's Sarah. Are you there?
Oh, am I unmuted?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi. Oh, just was saying It's fish leader.
Fish leader. Is that how you spell it though?
It's spelled correctly. It's just pronounced fish leader.
Thank you. I hate it when
Yeah,
people
thank you.
mispronounce my name. If I've done that, you guys have to correct me because it's like nails on a chalkboard if someone mispronounces your name. So Sarah Ashley, fish leader. Thank you. And so we have this vibration of a 5. And look who's going to come speak up right as we see this. I'm going to pick on you for this one. Master warrior. You will speak up. You will absolutely say what you need to say, when you need to say it, whether it's appropriate or not. In this case, it absolutely was. But you will absolutely just run into that vibration like head first. There is no plan. This is a firecracker, fireworks. We have master warrior. So in case any of you guys are planning on getting into an argument with her, don't do it. You're not going to win. She doesn't fight to win. She fights to annihilate. That 5 wants to absolutely just roll over anyone. This is a raging bull. This is a charging train. This is an unstoppable force, okay? Whereas we see the positive sides of the 5, passionate levels of leadership. You guys will absolutely care and fight for others tooth and nail. And the most negative part of this, actually I'd say that there's a lot of really tough parts that happen with a negative 5. It doesn't stick. That's the worst thing you could ever tell to your bank account. Don't stick. Whatever money comes in, shoot it out like a gun. Whatever thing you have, let it go. That's not how you want to look at relationships or you want to look at, wealth. Debts follow you. Chasing things. Oh, I really can't afford that. Yeah, no, it's too expensive. Let me buy 2. These are people who want to seek a rush. They want to get somewhere really fast. And it can be very difficult to combat that. What we would do is we would be putting a letter on top of this or a number on top of this to help balance or even it out, but we appreciate it. And even though I'll just quickly take a look and share with you guys, I actually use them. I use the 5, I use the 3. As you can see, there's a 538 and a 358, 516 and 156. It is a good number. It just has to absolutely be balanced, okay, when we decide that we're going to use it. But Sarah, Maka, these people are going to be very strong and independent. They're also going to be people who probably, not too focused on changing their name for marriage. They're also a really wonderful traveling companion. If I'm with a 5, I'm more worried about how annoying I would be to want to keep everything planned. And I would be also very safe to think they don't have a plan. I trust them. If anyone doesn't have a plan and I have to follow any one of them, it's the 5 that I will be following just because of the fact that they don't need a plan. They will shoot from the seat of their pants. And that's not a bad way to be in case you want to be spontaneous and, oh my gosh, and it can lead on to a really strong case of ADD in case you believe in that kind of thing. But the reality is that the 5 doesn't want to stop. So you show up in business, Nicole Galasso, you have a very powerful vibration for ambition, okay? How about Harmony West? Very ambitious. These people are like, absolutely, we'll do that. Same with Sarah. There's an ambition inside of you as well, Maricela. The 5 shows up inside of your numbers. We know that someone just doesn't care. They are going to cut right through anyone, any resistance. And when it shows up really positive, you guys are fighting for animals, fighting for children, fighting for the elderly, fighting for autism, fighting for this or that, fighting for learning disability. Whatever shows up that little person or that little experience doesn't have a voice of their own, guess who shows up as the sword, the shield, the savior of the day? This is where we get a chance to look at the 5, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the number 6. This changes things. This is now, we're we're neck deep inside of the intermediate numbers. This is the graduation of intermediate numbers, okay? Let's do this, let's do this, and let's do this. That's a lot of hearts and a lot of dollar signs to fit onto one name or one number, okay? There is equal parts money and equal parts love. There's a reason why I use it. There's a reason why my name shows up with a 6. There's a reason why I use them all over the place inside of my charts, like all of these 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. They all show up with 6s inside of the mastery vibe because I believe them to be exquisitely powerful. It is the most highly coveted number in all of numerology. Susanna, Deborah, you guys are the balancers in this entire group, okay? Who else do we have here? Do we have any 6s in components? Kyle was born in a 6 year. That's it. And then we have, what about 6 names? None of them. Okay, and then we see some of you guys as with 6s in your charts. Let's start with the positive numbers in the 6. Positive parts of the 6, leadership at its freaking finest. You guys are leaders, parents, super moms, partners, best friends with your partner. We'll do anything for the family. Invite me over for the holidays. Let's create a family together. It's more than just a tribe. We're a family. It takes a family to like a community, a tribe to raise a child. The 6 wants to be mom to everyone and is good at it and wants to be loved and very, very super freaking loyal. So if you're born with these numbers, we're going to see you as a powerhouse. Seeing as I'm speaking to a boss league of females, when we see the 6s in there, we see someone who's got the power to make money from home, the power to make love, and to do both very well. These are great for communication, purposeful for communication, okay? So this is a wonderful number to have. Now, the negative sides of the 6 are the most difficult things to deal with in all of numerology. Had to have something, didn't you, Bobby? Oh, God, you told me the number was great. Now you're going to tell me that it sucks. Unfortunately, the greater the height, the greater the depth, okay? I have this. Bobby has a -6 in it. I'm born in June. The -6 will rip your life apart. I'm just scanning right now. Harmony Rose West, we're taking it out. Gladly, no one else has one. I love a smaller group. This is awesome. Usually in a large group, it's like someone's got it. But in this case, hey, look, we're happy. But anybody born with actually, do we have it? Jane? No. There are certain numbers inside of the charts that show up with a massive amount of -6s. And so we want to pay attention to this. They sacrifice themselves to no end. We're talking specifically to Deborah and Susanna right now. This is your life path. We have a wonderful, wonderful, very loving, sincere love and friendship inside of your being. The -6 will just absolute rough you right up because you're not taking advantage of you let other people take advantage of you. You don't take advantage of you. Other people get to enjoy you. You don't enjoy you. You serve everyone else and seconds. There's none left for you in the bowl. As a matter of fact, your bowl's been turned over. You're not even serving yourself. And not to say that just categorically speaking, because there may be other numbers in there that balance you back out. If it shows up in green, if you see a 6 in the red, in the purple, you're good. You're okay. But if it shows up in red, which it barely does, only for harmony, then we're looking at a vibration that can absolutely bust you wide open. And I would say, hey, you know what? There will be some inside of your names. It's not just a one size, one number. That Sarah Ashley Fish Leader is also just Sarah. It's also just Ashley. It's also just Fish Leader. So in case you're like, shoot, I do sacrifice quite a bit for others, and then I get sad, I get down on myself. If this was an overload of 5s, you guys would be punching pillows or punching walls or kicking the door open or closed or basically taking out the anxiety and the frustration. If it's a 6, this is going to be like this, and I'm just going to be so sad, and I just don't want to do anything, and I sort of crawl into my human burrito, and I don't want to get out of bed for a week, and it can get super depressed and down on itself. I know exactly what that feels like. Like, it could almost make me throw up to think about it. And I get it. I understand. Kyle knows what I'm talking about. She's born in a 6th year. There's a loving care and emotional feeling. We just take on the problems of others. If you've got a bunch of these in your chart, you may show up like a helicopter parent and just kind of airdrop on your kids to save them from trouble. Because, of course, that's what any self-respecting parent would do. They don't want to see their kids, Before I had kids, I was like, let them fall. Don't worry, they'll bang their heads around. Now I'm like, bubble wrap everything. Make sure there's all the things plugged into the outlets, and my baby needs to be safe, and oh my God. And I'm like, because I've got the 6 in there. I don't want to see my kids get hurt. But at the same time, parenthood will change you. I get that. I feel so embarrassed to think of how much advice I gave to people having a dog, and then I got kids, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm so sorry. So I get you, I get it. But if you have a 6 in your chart, you probably make one of the most valuable partners anyone could ever have, okay? So this is good in business. Family, right? We drifted a bit, and we talked about the love side. Let's talk about what all that love does when you're making money. Imagine a family. Imagine a culture. Imagine a group. Imagine a team that gets together and eats together or goes together on retreats together, does things in their own community. There is a value of generational leadership. When we see 6, we see Mama Bear. We see someone or Papa Bear in my case, but we see a value in there that says, I care about my family. I want to see my little ones grow up and have their own little ones. Can you imagine instead of family, you said business, and little ones, you said entrepreneurs? I want my business to grow. I care about my business. I want to see my entrepreneurs grow and have entrepreneurs of themselves. Bam, duplication. You guys are hitting 682 and beyond. That's what this is all about. That's why I love this number so much, because you know what's going to stick the most? Inside the heart. The brain, it's like such a funny looking thing. The heart is where the passion, I believe, and the commitment really comes through. So in case you see me, I mean, take it from me. My number is a 6 number. I mean, of course, I have an 8 in there as well. But one of my biggest priorities is not only money, but love. I want my love to be profitable, and I want my money to be emotional. I want to have both where I get there. Like people see me for the first time, go live, or and I talk a pretty strong game for business. But you get to know me very quickly. You're going to see my kids like within minutes, or when we get a chance to be with each other one-on-one. We may have tears. I may be like, like just channeling your pain and energy, because I know what it feels like. And I'm like, let me take that. Please, let me please you. Let me do this for you. Don't worry about it. I will handle. Don't you dare. People are at my house. Oh, can we help you clean? Absolutely not. No. But then we will reject things. So as we start running out of the positive qualities, now we see people who can't take a compliment. They can't, allow themselves to accept and receive. They may be giving all of their love to others, but when it comes to show up and receiving for the self, no chance. It's not going to happen. They would rather deflect it and keep it moving, especially if it shows up in your middle name. So in case, and like Marie inside of Alayna, it does. That's the same thing as Bobby. She will give all of her love away to others and save the most disciplined part of herself for herself. I'll give my love to everyone. For me, I have to make sure I do things right. And I get it. That's my name as well. It's kind of the way I roll. And is it wrong or right? It's wrong. I get it. But at the same time, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. You're not going to see me change my name back to Belmont again. I already did that once in high school. I'm not doing that again. Bobby's easier to use, okay, especially in car sales when I used to do that. But it rolls off the tongue, okay? But truth's out. My name looks like a curry taco. So we're going to take a look now, and we're going to see some of the values that show up when we get a chance to actually communicate with purpose. We get a chance to communicate like teachers, leaders, mentors. These are your guides and the people who you want to go to. So if you have a 6 in your chart and it looks good, then hey, guess what? You're in a great place. We have a master 6. This is like queen vibration. Alayna L. Nath is going to be like a queen vibration. So I'm glad that you have a wonderful vibe there, Alayna, when you're using it like that. Just so you know, that's kind of my 2 cents on how the number 6 works powerful. I named my son Alayna L. Nath. No, just kidding. I named him with the 966. I named him with the same numbers because he needed to have the perfect name. So in case you guys are like, oh my God, give that number to me, you can take this one, or you can take 696 or 966 will be queen vibration for all of you guys, okay? So in case we have an option for it, you'll probably see me lean on that one, or you'll probably see me lean on 876 or 786. Those are usually the zones that I like to be inside, is these 3 or these 4. But in case any of you guys have an option for anything else, hey, we're playing with letters. Sometimes a single letter doesn't do it. If you're cool taking a double letter, we can. Otherwise, I can show you what word would actually take you there, in case you're curious. We do have time for that. So 6s, super depressing to themselves, super inspiring to everyone else. Loves to take care of everything else, seems to tend to neglect itself, like no problem, no worries. Got to take one for the team and help other people. It's just human nature. So, but to be fair, Susanna, probably a great person, not probably, absolutely a great person to be friends with and to keep inside of your ranks, because she absolutely cares about you. She will absolutely listen to you, and she's basically going to take your energy that you don't want. So this is kind of like, stop it, don't do that. And it's tough to tell you to not do that, because obviously you're like, well, then what? How else am I supposed to live my life? Like, what does that even mean? Because like you're there to do this for people, and I get it. And your love is probably like top tier Louis Vuitton brand love. Like you've probably got the best out there, and that's great. I'm not discounting that. It's probably just time you did that for yourself. It's probably time that you showed yourself how valuable you were, as opposed to, giving it away to everyone else. So not just calling you out saying that it's like that, but if you show up with Susanna Bajo Marcos you're probably dealing with the most severe ego challenge of all, which is like, I'm going to run into the fire to help someone else. Doesn't matter if I get out or not. I'm going to save everyone. And so there's a challenge inside of that name that needs to be either corrected, moved up, upgraded, or whatever it is. But I don't envy. This is as close as we get to a full bona fide leader. This is almost superhero. So we'll talk about that more when we get inside of there. Let's go back to the 6. Great number, as long as it's balanced. Horrible number as long as it's not. So hopefully none of you guys are trapped under any weird unbalanced 6s. If you are, you're probably depressed. It probably makes the throat itch a little bit, thinking I gotta just calm it down as a lump in my throat. Because it's like, I know I don't love myself. What's wrong with me? Why don't I do that? And that was the deflating, it's my new word, deflating energy that I was giving to myself when I was going through self-sabotage. I don't love me, nobody does, I don't give a shit about myself. You just pull out all the stops when you're in an angry mode and you just want to destroy everything. The 6 looks to itself first and wants to rip everything apart. And it's in that frustration. It's like, nobody's there. I'm by myself. I'm going to be sad. And we don't blame you. I've been born in June. I have those numbers in negativity as well. So, hey, we're there. Okay. Let's take a look at the number 7. Any life path 7s? We have 1. Maricela. And then how about name path 7s? None. How about numbers inside of your names? Kyle, Nicole, Alayna, Sarah Fishleader, and then Bobby F. Perryhart. And then what about numbers? July, the 7th of January, December 6th, the 16th of December. The 7, how do you know if your number pulls to the positive or the negative? If it ends in a 6 or an 8, it pulls to the positive. Or a 4, it pulls to the positive. 4, 6, and 8 are positively ending numbers. If it's a 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, or 9, they're negatively drawn, okay? And depending on the other numbers that are showing up, they could be extensively negatively drawn, okay? So we're looking for the even numbers 4, 6, and 8. We'll talk about that in a minute. Assuming that we're talking about wealth. We're talking about making money. We're talking about business. Primarily, we want things to be coordinated, okay? So we're looking at the 7s. The powerful place for the 7 is your law of intuition, your law of deeper thought. You guys are smart. You guys know stuff without knowing stuff. Or without learning it. You know, like deep, the level of philosophical nature of Maricela. She may not say very much all the time, but if you can get her on a deep topic, watch her light up and be like, man, this is so much more fun than the simple little small, oh, nice weather, Hale. It's always nice weather in Cali. That feeling is like, okay, great. Like you can have that small little chit chat. The 7 will get like, oh, I gotta get out of here. In the positive side of it, the 7's gonna be super intuitive, and we can rely on it, and absolutely, like, people will confide in these numbers. They will absolutely confide in someone who's got a lot of 7s in their chart. On the negative side of it, you guys are missing your voice. At a certain level, Sarah Fishleader has an inability to speak up for herself. Makanani also does the same thing. How about, that's it. Those are the only negative 7s that are in there. Or if it's in your birthday, you just may be a little bit quiet. There's no problem with that, but probably a little bit more observant than it is expressive. It's almost like a closed off mouth chakra or throat chakra. Mouths have chakras now. And to think that there's a bypass of energy. This is the biggest frustration ever. When you want to, need to, must say something, and then you're dealing with a 7. Like Maricela right now is at a 7/7. Okay, like I believe you're going to be, that's like what, almost 49, I think, or it's almost 50 at that area. At the 55th birthday, you're out of it. Okay, so we'll talk about that when we get to life paths of the individuals. But I wanted to prime you guys to know what the actual numbers mean. So when I talk about this, I don't have to double over so much. I have a 7 in the middle of my name. Francisco is a master 7. So there's going to be a strong level of spirituality, a mind reader ability, ability to see through the lines and read between the lines, see past the veil, connect to spirits, meditate, need my independence. Like if you guys got a 7 and you're like, yep, straight up, I don't like people. I got to go by myself. I'd rather go hang around the pond with ducks. I don't blame you, because the 7 is like, they don't speak. So they're going to talk to other people who don't speak, like babies or animals. Babies speak, most of them, when they're upset, right? But the reality is that animals are probably not going to say very much. So you're going to look at your dog and just be like, you get me. And that feeling is there because human beings are going to be a little bit more, hey, what you doing? What's going on? Tell me your goals and your dreams and your vision. The seven's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And if you got a bunch of them, you may not be too comfortable going on the camera and like, you know, doing your go live. And that feeling can be very, very destructive to the sense of expression. If you're running a business and you have a lot of sevens that you can't get rid of, like during your birthday, or they show up inside of, let's see how many I use. 1, 2, 3, 4 names I use with a 7. But in case you do show up with that, I'll let you know your business isn't made from I call it penis style marketing. Okay, penis style marketing is, hey, how's it going? What you doing? What's going on? Like the way that someone does. This is more vagina style marketing, where it's like, I'm here. You can come to see me if you want. I don't need to go out there and get you. And that's not to say anything bad. I'm talking about the physical anatomy of a biological human being. So we have this feeling of protruding to say, I'm going to go out there and get it. The seven's like, I don't do that. I'm going to stay and I'm going to be here and I'm going to invite people to speak to me. I'm going to invite energy to unload itself for me. This is the power of the 7. You're building your business with this. It's the power of questions that you ask yourself on the daily basis to yourself and others that actually determines the quality of your life. So you got a lead in your back office or something came in there and you're like, oh my God, I got a lead. What do I do? You get curious. It is easy for you in life to get people talking, isn't it? You're just like, oh my God, tell me more. Oh, really? Oh, that's so interesting. And then what happened? So what does that mean? Okay, and then what happened? Like, it's just so interested and it's present for other people that it actually cares. It actually cares. If you see a 7, Sarah Fish Leader, and it's in the negative, Makanani, Kyle King Cribs, Balwan Francisco Perihar, we have a trouble vocalizing our power. Okay, this is why I want to change my name legally before I get married, because I don't want that thing to be there. I would like that thing to move forward before it starts causing some serious damage in the future of my life, the same way it has in the past. Ooh. So I know what that problem has been when I wanted to speak up and I didn't. Look at my numbers. I got a warrior that implodes. Could you imagine the amount of self-destruction I've done to think that I actually go inward with my fight? When it comes to someone else, like, I'm not, no. But when it comes to myself, it's like, oh, stupid, I can't believe I did that. And like, that feeling shows up in I'm so using that in a post. Okay. Credit me on that. I just came up with that. I'm just kidding. No, it's all good. You can absolutely use it. I've used it before, but I did come up with it. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, no, I'm not kidding, but I am kidding about the part where you need to give me credit. Okay, cool. So 7s. We love your intuition. We love the fact that you can read our freaking minds. We love the fact that you don't have to hard sell us. But when it comes to making a decision, you guys, like, if you got a bunch of them and we're looking at names and you're like, shoot, I don't know. Because I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 different options. You're like, oh, I don't know, what should I take? It may take you a couple days to get to anything. And if a decision takes you a couple days to come to, do not worry. It is all good. It's like, I'm not going to rush you. I will just say, let's come back to you. So you've got about 4 or 5, 10 seconds before it gets kind of weird. And then it's like, you know what? I think you need to think about this. In terms of Maricela, we're going to be super patient because that double 7, she's probably dealing with the massive frustration of where's my voice? How come I feel so quiet? Why can't I speak up for myself? I can see through time. I can't even see in front of me. And I noticed that people who got a lot of 7s, not uncommon that they've got corrective lenses. So in case you guys see, oh my God, I got 7s and I wear glasses, it's probably because you're looking into the future and not looking into the present moment. The 7 is a very divine connected, very spiritual, holy number. It's the seat, the throne of God. This is where divine comes from. So we have a wonderful number for spirituality. But in terms of business, it's like, don't send the monk to the bank to do your banking. The monk doesn't have a wallet. And if you're all huddled with yourself, all right, we're gonna do this. You got this. You got the plan. This is the magic. We got the guy. We're gonna do this. All right, team, go, boom. And then, all right, you're gonna go to the bank, and the monk is like, taking a vow of silence. Is not gonna say what it needs to say. It happens a lot, and I've experienced this. I'm a name path 7. I was born this way. So if there's hope for me to have this level of communication. I'd like to think that there's hope for you guys as well, in case you're like, man, I can't find the right words. Why don't I stand up for myself? How come I say it in my head and then I see it in front of me later and I'm like, man, I should have made that movie first. Or like, I had a dream about that. I should have done that. I know I should have done that, but I didn't step up. I didn't rise up to the occasion. No worries. You have a very powerful connection to source and spirit. So any procrastinators out there, or people who are like, man, who said it? I was like, I can't get into routines. I can't keep my routines up, or self-sabotage. This thing happens. I know I should do something, but then when I go to pick up the phone or type it, it's like, and I just can't do it. And suddenly it's like, I've got a list of laundry and I got to do the kitchen. I got to make sure. Let me just put the audio on the background and then take care of the house and the kids and just listen to it. That's learning. The 7 will start to put everything in front of you to try to dissuade you from taking action. That's a tough cookie. And I have it inside of my name as well, Bobby F. Perryhar. I brought it back out because there is a balanced version of it. I want the 7 to be quiet on the inside. I don't want to be the 7 quiet on the outside like my full legal name. I want the inside of my being to be a temple. Or if I don't like people, if you don't like people, which would be weird if I'm doing this, you may show up with a number like 718 or 178. Okay, it might be just very independent. Like Maricella's got that inside of her name. We looked at it, 718. So there's a large level of independence. She knows a lot more than she tells anyone. Okay, I'll tell you that for sure. So when we're looking at the 7, we have a wonderful vibration for vision. So meditation, yoga, getting into your thoughts, affirmations, reading the future, going into a psychic state of download or cosmic vision, seeing beyond the veil. The ego is so small and distant at this point that it's like you may look like an egoic, like you have a really strong ego because you don't show one. And that can just be like someone's like, oh yeah, so like puff my feathers. Okay, and that's what, men are the same, women do the same thing, right? We all want to like show up for each other, right? And so the 7 will be like, what are you doing? And then the one who's got the ego is going to be like, yeah, well, look at me. Oh, you're just so full of yourself. You think you're so much better than me. And Maricel is like, I really don't, but I don't do that. Like, I don't know what that thing is you do. Like, I don't have that, because just a lack of identity, sense of self, or sense of like, look at me. Like, you're like, doesn't make sense to me, right? Like Nicole has this as well. She's got a 7 in there. Susanna was born in July, so that could be very quiet as a child. But the fact that the 7's show up in there, we're not looking to puff up or fluff up our feathers because of that number. If it does show up, it's because you got something else in there. But the reality is that number is not really gonna like want to stand up or say anything. It's gonna think everything through in its mind. If we're at a party, you and I are the ones quietly judging people from the corner. So we have a valuable vibration that shows up inside of the 7. We don't want it to let it go unheard. This is the part that lets you see into the future. So when you go into vision mode, you got your little clicky pen. You're like, all right, I'm going to tell you my vision. I'm going to tell my vision. This is my vision. The 7s will be able to write a possible timeline that will be in the future available for them. So it would be a really powerful thing to express itself inside of talking to your future, talking to things that haven't happened yet. Just so we know that that's a really powerful place to be. Let's take a look now. It's going to just drive on down. And let's take a look at the 8. This is it. This is the numerology number of wealth. Now, because we've entered into advanced numbers. Okay, so this is like 1, 2, 3 is at the bottom side of the street, like the kiddie pool area. 4, 5, 6, you turn the corner. This is suburbia. And then you have 7, 8, and 9. This is like Street of Dreams here, okay? Like the multi-million-dollar houses. Starts off with the 7, which is like you turn the bend and suddenly you see all of nature, and you've seen the cliff and you're like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing vista. Then we see the moneymaker's house. Of course, it's going to be on the map on the advanced level. We have value in here, and we've got Kyle. There she is. Look at that. We've got Sarah. We've got Aaron. Your guys' legal names are ending in are 8, or your birthday is an 8. You guys have wonderful natural names that you were born with, okay? In the case of Aaron Beth Macanani Dela Cruz, that's a little bit of a challenge because of how many 4s that is. Like, everything has to be hard. Everything has to be like, it's going to make it more difficult than it needs to be. And that's super frustrating to someone with double 5s. You're like a firecracker on one side, and then the calm, very steady hand on the other. And in frustration, You work so hard, one mistake, and you're like, ah, and you just rip the whole thing up. You're like, oh, I can't do this. And the frustration can get overwhelmingly loaded up, especially with double fives over double fours. We'll talk about fixing that, okay? We promise to fix that. But we see eights, law of attraction. I believe this is the number I use the most. I'm just going to double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them out of whatever many that are there all show up with eights. When we see eights, we see people who are fairly smart, okay? Kyle, you're not going to tolerate BS for very long, especially not Aaron Beth McInerney Dela Cruz. Sarah Elizabeth Hansen, yeah, you will for a little bit, but really not. It's like just a card you play up at the front. There is a level of, all right, does this work? Does this work for me, or do I got to get out of here? If it doesn't make dollars, it don't make sense to stick around. These are people who are going to be much more in their head than in their heart. So if you're missing some sixes in your chart, in this case, it may be a little difficult to like McInerney, you're probably leaning more towards the practical, the logical, the intellectual, the mental than you are the emotional and the feeling. You're like, save your feelings for church. I'm going to get something done. And you should too. Otherwise, get out of my freaking way. And this is the value that we see in there. Look, there's no sixes in there. We only have passion, purpose, power, leadership, independence. There's a bit of sweetheart in there too inside of Makanani. But most of the numbers show up for, freaking business. And I absolutely understand that. I can see that. I'm like, all right, cool. We got a good name. That looks good. Looks good to me. But we really want to make sure that you're not letting the 8 show up in the negative. Bobby Perihar, before it was with an F in there, was Sarah Songbird. Same thing. Susanna B. Marcos. Guys, these negative 8s are going to rip you apart. They disassociate from the self. This will lead towards things like addiction or things like hyper level of intelligence. You may be too smart for your own good. You can make fun of other people without them knowing it. It can get a chip on its shoulder when it's talking to its leads. Not a fun place to level off in business. So, hey, we want to take care of those. Because the worst place you want your wizard or your entrepreneur inside of your chart is with his pants down and can't even do anything. And it's like, I can't figure this out. We want to make sure that all of you guys have the more powerful version of the 8s. If you see an 8 in a red, it's a seriously no-go zone. Okay, we absolutely want to shift that thing around. But on the positive side, actually positive and negative, whatever you say is going to happen. Okay, you keep saying it, it's going to happen. Whether you know you're saying it or not, that's a different story. Like, I want all this stuff, but how often are you saying it? And you have to go back and think, you know what? The most persistent thought I think of is the one that eventually comes true. Whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, doesn't matter. The universe doesn't have feelings the same way we do. It just expresses itself in vibration. So when we see an 8, we see a leader. Oh, born in August as well, Kyle. That's a difficulty on your parents. Because let's imagine you being a little boss woman for a second. Like, let's just imagine this little boss woman here. And as a child is unruly, doesn't want to listen to mom and dad, absolutely wants to go and do her own thing and come see me later. As a child, what's the first thing that's going to happen when you're 5, 6, and 7? Stop that. Go to your room. No, you can't do that. You're in trouble. Discipline. Listen to mom and dad. You listen to authority. And I'm looking at this being like, she doesn't want to listen to anyone. She's a boss. Absolutely wants to be in complete control and charge of herself. You listening to anyone else is like a sacrifice of who you are. And I can see obviously Kyle King Cribs will go back into the 3. So there can be a part that says, oh, I may use that to my advantage and just, and do what they want so they like me or that they'll be happy with me. Where on the undertone of it, you're going to be expressing that against yourself. And we look again at Kyle King. I would be keeping an eye on this one, Alayna, for sure. Because Kyle, your numbers are naturally aligned and super powerful, especially Kyle King. I would just seek to make it easier for you and not make it so difficult. So depending on what shows up inside of a name you could choose, we'll talk about that option. But power, what people say inside of this is the law of attraction, the magnetism. Imagine the 8 on its side is the infinity symbol. What you give to the universe comes back and gives it to you, and it circulates and cycles through without any end or stop. It's the infinity principle. So this is the place where wealth and grows on wealth and grows on wealth and grows on wealth. Like, this is the value now that shows up as my money works for me. At the 4 level, We're like, I work hard for money. At the 6 level, it's like, I don't want to work so hard for money. I'd like to have some investments. And the 8 is like, I want my money to work hard for me. I do not work hard for money. I work smart. If you could even call it work, it's my vision, my purpose. I got to do big things. But, you know, here you go, a little $100 bill. Go and get 10 of your friends. Come back when you're done. And this is what you do with your little post. You got a sweet post. Okay, $100 on red. And you basically put your post out there to the universe. Back comes the vibration. So be careful about the things that you say, especially in the case of Kyle's situation, because your life path 8, and it's a wonderful vibration to have. We also have Maka being born in an 8 year. Alayna's born on an 8 day. Sarah's born on an 8 year as well. So you guys have some seriously powerful feelings of wealth inside of your charts if you're seeing them. And I would imagine that everybody, if it's not an 8, it's a 6. Everybody wants to. We've been trained as a society. They'll be like, oh, you gotta have money, you gotta be wealthy, you have multiple streams of income, and all of that stuff shows up. Whereas in Kyle's case is like, I can't be monogamous with money if I tried. I got a portfolio, this, investment here, da-da-da, real estate. And this is like a persistent, obsessive thought that this woman wants to be in control of an asset folder. It's not just like, look at my baby business, all my eggs into one basket. You are the basket. And that's not to say, you know, a bad thing, but you've got all of the bits and pieces inside of you. You're the wealth inside of your chart. So cool. Number 8, wonderful number for business, but can get a little bit detached from the heart. The 6 was nice because it was in the equal distance. You look at this, right? Like 6, and then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Then you see 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. It's literally in the dead center of all of the numbers that I measure. When you see the 8, we see it now on the top end. These are people who are going to be very powerful for wealth. We like that. Wealth isn't always monetary, okay? But there is a value of magnetism around this. So be careful what you speak, please. Be careful what you speak. I'll tell you this. What would you do if you knew that the words that you spoke were actually going to mean something? Would you catch yourself and not say the same stuff that you always tell yourself? And what's troubling is that when the 8 is not being satisfied, it's going to start to say some pretty nasty things about itself. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I don't care about this. Doesn't matter, whatever. And it's going to disassociate from the self. This can lead to drugs. This can lead to drinking. This can lead to suicide if it's left unchecked. Okay, like this is a really powerful number we're talking about. Now, or at least suicidal fantasies. Now, let's go into the number 9. Let's do this. This is the mastery version of love. So you see the theme here, right? We got baby love, baby money. We got the intermediate house of love and money. Then we have the mastery house of love and money. We also have spiritual in here. Okay, this is also the number. How do you make a spiritual sign? Can we do like maybe we'll do an X for a cross, right? Like those are like the holy cross. So you have a powerful level there, we have a powerful level there, and I believe the other one would be somewhere around here. So we have spiritual climb from the 6, the 7, and the 9. But when we take a look at this 9, we see a heart that is bigger than anything else in its chart. This offers a value of mastery. What I would suggest is this little tip, okay? Like just in case you guys want to see how powerful the 9 is. Numerology apparently comes from some weird cultures, different cultures around the world. There were a certain level of culture called the Chaldeans, and they had the numbers down right. They had this conversation really that like this is one of the people who created numerology as we know it. They didn't use the number 9. Inside of Chaldean numerology, you can't measure that number. Because if you accidentally do, or not accidentally, but if you use it, take a number, pick one, any number, 1 to 9. I don't like, yeah, let's keep it easy. 1 to 9, pick a number between your head. Now add the number 9 to it. Okay, do some math, figure it out. Okay, add it up. You got a teenage number now, whatever it is inside of there, 15, 17, 19. Any number plus 9 is going to give you except for 1 is going to give you a number or 2. Whatever, after 13, never mind. 1 to 9, pick a number, add the number 9 to it. That new number, add it up. Add up that new number. Take the first number and the second number, put it together. You have the same number that you started with. The 9 disappears. It is an infinite number. It is the selfless. It is the universe. It is the anti-anything. It is all things encompassing. It is absolutely everything. So when you see a bunch of 9s in your chart, like Susana Bajo Marcos, that's a big one. She cares a lot about others over herself. There's a graduated version of love in her chart. How about Sarah Ashley Fishleader? She's a master warrior. Sarah Songbird loves to give everything away. And that's like, no, I don't. That's my business. Don't do that. And now you're going to see that you probably don't want to have that vibration. How about Deborah Louise Descharnay? That vibration is like not messing around. She will run into the aid of anyone who needs her. These number 9s are not kidding. Look at this for a second. I think I use 4 of them. It's either Master 6, like the 6 number in its mastery version, or it's the 8 in its mastery version. Global Visionary. Let's see here. Global Visionary, or it's going to be King or Queen. So they hold a very small space for power inside of this because it amplifies whatever you touch it with. So you take Sarah's name, for example. Vowels, 9. A, plus consonants, say S-R-H, you get the idea. 9 plus 5 equals 14. 1 plus 4 is 5 again. So the 5 on the inside is getting amplified and growing to its higher version of its next self. How about this one? 1 plus 9 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1 again. So the ego is getting amplified to a cosmic proportion. You're going to want to help other people as if it's going out of style. Like, this is like your purpose and your vision on earth is to help other people. The level of impact. I've got to do it. It's my responsibility. You know, not all are chosen. Not all who are called or chosen are called, whatever the saying is. But the feeling is that there's a strong identity to want to help other people at the expense of yourself. Excuse me while I get your Spider-Man outfit for you, your Batman outfit, or for you guys, your Wonder Woman outfit. Because that feeling in there is like, look, I'm ready to take battle on this. I'm going to go and help the world. I have to help the world. And that feeling shows up inside of there with this 9 and the 1. It's showing up as the only person here with a severe challenge. But so do these 2 numbers. So in case any of you have the taste of global vision and you want to make like powerful levels of wealth, you may want to have a vision that's big enough to include it. This is the number 9. Cares a lot about animals, a lot about children. These people will absolutely, can't watch the Sarah McLachlan commercial where the dogs are getting, donated, or the SPCA. It's like, oh, I just don't like mine. Change the channel, no big deal. There's something bad happening on TV. You're going to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should just donate a little bit to them because I have it and I should give it back. Oh, and like tax season, tax time. Guess who's capitalizing on their refund by donating stuff or donating money, charitable causes. We love this, but at the same time, it's not positioning itself for itself. It's an anti-sense of self. So when we're having the self conversation, it can almost be like, you know what, I skipped class that day. I'm not there that day. In Alayna's case, she's got the most powerful name of us all in the group right now because this thing is speaking into the mastery. She's one of my clients. So obviously she's going to have a mastery name. You're all going to get one if you want one. But the reality is that thing is going to say, hey, look, I care a lot about the world, but I want to balance and stabilize my business and my family and my relationship and my money and my wealth and everything inside of my queendom needs to balance itself out, whereas I can see that the world needs change. The world needs help. So keep in mind that that's how it shows up. Then we have mastery numbers. I didn't notice too many of these, and some of your names will actually be those, okay? So it could be like 7622, okay, instead of 764. It could be 2644 instead of 268. It could be this one, like 22228 instead of 44. Okay, so mastery numbers show up, and then Deborah's was like this. Deborah's name was like 9112. So there was a vibration of angel, spiritual partner. Deborah's also born in November, so good example. How about Sarah's first 55 years of her life? 1 and 1, born in October, born on the 10th. There's a vibration of double 1s happening right there. So we see and then we have double 5s in Sarah's chart, Sarah 1. There's vibrations of duplicity inside of mastery that say that this thing takes it to the next level, on the spiritual level, on the soul purpose level. So when I'm showing up as a life path 11 with a 22 year, Any 70? No, I didn't see any. How about, no, okay, smaller group. Sometimes you don't see everything. But the value behind a mastery number is that this extends into the spiritual. Most of your middle names, if anybody's got one, I can see nobody does by my immediate, like, instant count, but there will be numbers inside of your names that show up with double digits. If it does, or it shows up with the number was actually a double version of it, you're dealing with a mastery number. 11 is the mastery number of 2. At 2, we had the junior number was partnership, it was all good. Hey, me and my buddy. Then at the 11, it was like this: teacher, student, parent, child, leader and follower, doctor and patient. Okay, like I'm going to administer something. Imagine what we're doing right now. I'm administering information to you guys and helping you reprogram some things so that you guys can get a better understanding of the universe that's before you. So keep in mind that this information, I was supposed to tell it. I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to do this because that was my angel mission as this planet, is to come to this place and the world is ready. And, you know, in my past lives, maybe I was burned at the stake before, and I was, you know, burned for having this mystery school of knowledge, whatever it is. The time is now for it to come back out. And this is why I'm so confident in it now. You know, I like to think that I play a really big part in the reason why a lot of people are able to vibrate at the highest level possible for themselves. It's one of the most amazing feelings ever. And I don't take it for granted. I had to go through a lot to get here. And I'm still not done. I'm still going through a lot. I'm still always going to be growing. You want to be a master? Commit to being a student. I'll tell you that right now, okay? 22, nobody has this outwardly. I think someone did, but I didn't notice it. The same as the 4, but now I have a spiritual connotation to this. To think, oh, I'm going to build something very, very large in my life. I'm going to do something very, very powerful with it. I'm not just going to, you know, sit back and just let my life pass me by. This is the value of the 22. I want to help the world. I want to get the world to a better place. I want to do something for others that helps me to become a service to the planet. So we love these numbers for sure, but they're a little hard to run by because they take a little bit longer to kick in and they offer a bit of challenge. So I won't get to drum over them because most of us don't have these numbers. But what I want to do is grab some feedback. Any comments? Anybody feel like they want to say something? Anyone was like, holy smokes, I can't believe this. Anybody who is out there who's kind of like, you know, wants to comment, you can unmute yourself, put it into the chat. I'm going to give you guys like a 5-10 second window as I don't stop talking. I'm not going to close my mouth. So if you guys don't want to unmute yourselves, you don't have to. But what I want to do is I want to now start applying these numbers to your names. Okay, like imagine this. We're all in drama class. Okay, so in drama class, there is a room, like the rec room or whatever, like the theater room inside of school where you do the school plays and all that stuff. And there was a little tiny room in there with all of these outfits. And you could run and you could basically put on a bunch of outfits on. And I'm thinking back to my days in grade 8. Okay, I'm born in 84. Is anyone around my size? Some of you guys are much more wiser than me, and maybe Sarah might know kind of what I'm talking about. So, you know, this feeling of drama class, we're going to go perform. Those 9 colors show up in an infinite array of different vibrations. I think it is here somewhere. I'm just going to quickly see if I can find it, and then I can show you guys, and you guys can get a good idea for what I'm talking about. Where are we? Let me just see if I can find it here. I think it might even be up one. Let's see here. Maybe it's inside of here. Oh, yeah, it's going to be in here. I'm going to just find the vibrations real quickly and share them with you. This is what my mastery course looks like, okay? So we go full in depth. It's like a 4-day thing. Holy smokes. I teach you guys the whole chart vibration. It gets super intense. The numbers that you guys see in green in that little vowel spreadsheet thing there is basically the numbers that we're using that are balanced. There's a few of them, and then there's like this no-fly zone in the middle that shows up with numbers that are not going to work and numbers that are going to be fairly challenging. And this is basically how we see it, okay? So when I'm looking at numbers that want to go in and out, this is how they could all show up. These are the different combinations. If you were to add vowels or consonants together, you would get this type of a makeup, okay? Documenting this, each one of them, has been a very fun sort of idea, and I'm looking forward to continue doing that. But let's take a look at this. This is the outfits we have. These are the ones that show up. when we look at your names, you're going to see some of these. Oh, I have this one. Oh, that one shows up there. Oh, this one doesn't work, this and that. The ones in green are the ones that absolutely work. And then we have some ones that show up in mastery that are absolutely super powerful as well. Let's go back. Now let's start putting these numbers onto yourselves. Let's start talking about these one at a time. Now, you do not have to unmute yourself if you don't want to. If you would like to, I would love it and appreciate it, and so would your peers. We're going to go one at a time. First up, Sarah Fish Leader. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how these numbers show up. It's going to be a quick shaking of the pop can, and then we're going to balance your name out. We're going to find something powerful that you can use, and then we're going to make sure that you've got something powerful for you. Okay. This isn't it. This isn't the end all be all. This is just a quick little snapshot cross section of what you've got going on. Sarah, the first, and so you're with me? Yeah. Okay. I see you. You want to unmute yourself, or are you going to just sit and watch? I see you raising your hand. Go for it. I'm going to unmute yourself and lower your hand. Can I unmute you, or can you try to unmute you? Go for it. Try to unmute yourself. I won't touch it. I think every time you do it, I do it.
Okay, I got it.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome.
How you liking it so far?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Biggest takeaway?
I just saw so much of myself in the 3 and the 5 as you were talking about it. I thought it was so funny how right when I spoke up about my name was when you were talking about the 5s, and I got those double 5s in there. Yeah, just really resonating with what you're sharing.
And I noticed two things immediately. First of all, she's got this power in her voice and her tone, but also you show up like super loving, super lovely, sweet smile, very sweet into the 3, the kitten version of you, and then there's the tigress version of you.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, don't worry. And then there's like the other person of you that's like, trust me, I will cut you. And that feeling is there inside of the power in you. Okay? So we have Master Warrior on your name, and then we have Princess inside of your birthday. And when I see 5s, they're usually the ones who get the most offended when we call them princesses. So one I would like to think is that you look lovely, you feel lovely, there's a loving vibration in there, creativity is strong, but when push comes to shove, you're going to speak up for other people before you speak up for yourself. Being born in January, I understand there's going to be a powerful level of independence, but you're, what, 29 right now? Going to be 30 soon?
31.
Okay, so it's gone. Now the sense of leadership is starting to diminish, and now we're falling into the let me please people vibration. And I just want to keep everyone happy. And, you know, that was when I was younger. I was a lot more independent. Now I just want to help people move things through. And that double 3 can be a very difficult place to run under. However, you're a blast. You ask any one of your friends, spontaneous, sure, why not? Who cares? You only live once. That feeling is inside of this vibe to be like, you know what? If you're not breaking something, you're not having fun. There's a chaos inside of this chart. But let's take a quick look into your future. The 8 is in there. There's a wealth for you that you land on when you become your wisdom vibration, 55 years and older. So when and this is how we calculate it. From 0 to 27, your birth month is going to show up. From 27 to 55, your birth day is going to show up. From 55 years and on, your birth year is going to show up. So at the very beginning, it was 3/1. Leadership, sweetheart, independent, wants to please people. And then the leadership takes down a little bit. And now it's like, you're not aging anymore. You still look like a young 27, 25-year-old, and you're going to stay that way, entering 55 looking like a 35-year-old. Watch. Anyone stay with her for the next 20 years and prove me wrong. I'll be waiting. But that double 3, you don't want to get older. You're not going to. You're going to stay nice and young, and it's going to be there through the rest of your life. Okay, so we love that. But then the 8 shows up as that itching little pressing thing in the back of your mind that says, I want to be wealthy. I got to be wealthy. I got to do something for wealth. I've got to be in charge. Got to be in control. And I'm going to grow, and it's going to be there. So I'm not going to make you wait, any of you, to experience the joy of your 3rd number. The reality is you have until then to sort it out. So you being 31 right now, you're super ahead of the game, and that's a wonderful feeling. Yes, you have the next decade in front of you to basically create and amass your wealth, build your brand. It's all good. This is what's going to set you into legacy. But we want to balance this out. So what I would do is I would be putting letters on this. Pardon my sweet little kids. I can hear them in the background having a lot of fun. in case you guys can hear him. So what we're looking at is we're going to look to balance this thing out. When I balance out Sarah Fish Leader, the first thing that I see that I could use would be, I'm just going to rearrange my screen a little bit so that I can fit everything all at once. Let's do it like this. Okay. I go for low-hanging fruit, okay, guys? If you want, because we have got, we're sincerely ahead of schedule here, and we have got a lot of time for you guys. I'm here for you as long as you want. I would say limit me to 2 questions, and then if you have 3, 4, or 5, that just will come back around and do it again. But you guys won't be waiting very long before that happens. What I do with a name, we're gonna take Sarah as the guinea pig, is that we're gonna add a letter to it. If you don't like the way it looks, or it doesn't land you in the vibration you want, we have to get creative by putting 2 letters, or putting a new name, or using Sarah Ashley, or using Sarah Ashley Fish Leader with an extra letter. So depending on how badly you want it, or how badly you want to move forward into that vibe, I'll go for the low-hanging fruit. I will climb to the top of the tree for you. Absolutely whatever you need. Okay. So the first thing that you could do is adding a J or an S to Sarah Fish Leader. And I believe, I'm just going to double check this. I believe that's the only number you can add to it that I would recommend. So we're going to go Sarah Fish Leader 347. If I add an H, Q, or Z. Yeah, so the Sarah Fish Leader, the only thing you can really do to it is add a J or an S. So it'd be Sarah J Fish Leader and Sarah S Fish Leader. The 358 vibration is the fun and fast. Okay, so this is long-term and serious. Look at her. She's got 3s in her birth path, 5s in her birth name. So she may be like, hey, you know what? I like that. I can pull in the 8 for my wealth, the 5 for my passion, the 3 for my sweetheart. Let's have fun. Let's go fast. We don't need to worry about a strategy here. This is going to be a lot of, like guess and test, and you'll figure it out. Passion on fire is better than ignorance on ice, or ignorance on fire is better than, passion on fire is better than knowledge on ice. Okay, so to know that you've got a power inside of just, who cares? Let's just run. Who cares? No big deal. Doesn't matter if you do it right or not, as long as you, as long as you ran out there and you did something. This is how it shows up. Okay, so you get a chance to put that in there. This won't last you forever. You're going to get to a certain point in your business where you're like, okay, I've partied a lot. I've had a lot of fun. I get it. I'm super fun and awesome. I got a team now. I can't show up this way anymore. I can't just be the one that's like, yeah, rah, rah, like, let's just go and have fun and no consequences. Now it shows up like you want to help other people grow. You want to help other people achieve their balance. Then what I would be doing, if that's more your bag, is to be putting Sarah Ashley S Fish Leader. If in case you want to take your full name and you want to run with this and step into your queen vibration, it could be as easy as adding an S to Ashley. Actually, I don't think I like the word ass in the middle of your name, so I'm probably just going to take that out and put the letter S there. Like S for songbird, right? Like if you like that, then you could take the letter S in there, or you could take the letter J. You could do the same thing, okay? So in case you want to put a J or an S to your full name, this is a feeling of you stepping into queen vibe, okay? I'll lead you to Exhibit A for Alayna. She has this vibration. You're like, oh, I like that. She shows up with a lot of power, a lot of care, because this number, Sarah Ashley Fish Leader, shows up as a valuable lesson in debt, and I'm not going into the direction I want to go into. And the feeling is inside of there to think, hey, I'm not relationships may be transient. This may lead into like you to be careful, to separations and things like that. Hopefully you're too young to have a divorce. I'm not sure, but
no, I'm divorced.
You are?
I mean, technically still married, but separated. Yeah.
Clinically divorced. Let's just put it that way. You're like, did you mistake me for a little pussy kitten there, buddy boy? Because I'm a. That's like, oh, like sure, okay, great, no worries. I love fun to play with, but underneath it all, there's going to be a sharp set of claws. It's going to like skewer some eyes out with that thing. That 5 is like, you messed up with the wrong lady. So we're having a vibration there that says freedom. You may have just gotten married just so you can express your freedom. And someone wants to put you in a box. You don't do that. You don't put a cat in a tub. You absolutely don't confine a woman to a house and be like, be my, my trophy wife and my, You know, that's like a fast way to get into a lot of trouble. I'll tell you that. I was raised by women. You don't do that. Okay. So, and some guys are like, what? Who cares? I'm like, oh man, you got something else coming. That feeling is inside of this. Okay. So in case you want to step to the fun side of you for a little bit, your number would last a good 6 to 12 months. You may find in a year and a half or a year, you may be like, all right, that was fun. Let's get serious. And then you can pick the letter up. Or you could just be like, you know what, I'm ready to take it serious now. I don't mind. I'm just going to put Ashley S or Ashley J inside of my name. Or if you want, we can discuss what 2 letters would look like. But let me just quickly introduce you guys, just so you're thinking, well, what do the other ones mean? We have leadership, passion, and balance. We have passion, leadership, and balance. We've got connection, discipline, and balance. We've got discipline, partnership, and love between money and love. Then we have social charm, we have passion, and then we have business. Here we have passion first, business, work hard, play hard, and then let's make some money while we're doing it. Then we have independence, intuition. We have don't talk to me, I'm by myself anyway, let's make some money. This is Maricela right here. This is your name, by the way. Then we have God vibration, which simply means if you took the words G-O-D, it would show up as 628. This is coach, parent, partner. I care about you. Let's see you grow. I'm going to be there with you. Let's go nice and slow. And, I'm going to help you through this. Let's make some money. It's more responsible. Then we have woman in power, balance of the home, balance of the business, wants to raise her family, wants to help the world, wants to stand in her queen vibration. If there was men here besides myself, I'd say king vibration. This value shows up in there. Then we have all-star. These are 1 part spiritual, 1 part business, 1 part family. It's how I show up in my life. This is the reason why I am where I am is because I don't want to just have a business. My business is taking my kids to Disneyland. I understand the necessity of creating wealth in my life, but the reality is that I want to have fun with my family. And so I know that I want to do that because it's a major goal and priority of who I am. 4 years ago, I took that name because I wanted to find the love of my life. Not because I was like, oh, this is great for business. Ooh, give me the love number. And I had lots of my clients do this to me. They're like, oh yeah, we should see Bobby for your business name. And then they're like, oh, I don't love myself and my husband and my wife. Help me. And like, I want to find the destiny relationship. I'm like, well, I took a far fall from business. The all-star lets you go in all 3 directions. Connection to spirit, connection to your money on one side, and connection to your lovey-dovey on the other. Then we have global visionary. These things are difficult. If you take one, you're also in a severe challenge. It is tough because the love number is going to be muted. So in case you have some of these guys, you may be less inclined, ladies, you may be less inclined to have children. You may be less inclined or you may, in relationships, want to take a very divine masculine vibration and let your male counterpart or your partner counterpart, if you're gay, turn into the more emotional side, okay? Inside of my relationship, I take the feminine numbers, Sally takes the masculine numbers. Hey, it works. As long as it works for you, it's fine. I've got so much divine feminine. I was born in Cancer. My moons are rising in the sign of the moon and all these female energies. And you kind of have to be saturated in that stuff to do work like this. But I absolutely love my woman's butt, and I absolutely love having my family. The value of feeling like, you know what, we've made it work. And throughout my life, I always was attracted to strong, powerful women, alpha women. That's just the way it worked. And these are because I took a number right inside here. So we see these numbers as the different places that you can go. Having said that, do any one of these letters feel more appropriate to you than the last?
Definitely S resonates more than J.
And towards Sarah Fish Leader or Sarah Ashley Fish Leader? The real choice is, do I want to take it fun for now and then serious, or do I want to just be fun, or do I want to just be serious?
Yeah, no, I want to take it seriously.
So then
I want to have fun along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. That could mean that you do this. You go Sarah S. Fish Leader, and then when you're done having as much fun and you get your fill, then you put in Ashley into to do that. Okay. So that could be the one if you wanted to. But we also have Sarah Songbird. This is a completely different number set. This one you would be looking at Let's just do like this, and let's do like this. You'd be looking at F or X, and then the letter O would be here. For Sarah Songbird, Sarah O Songbird, or Sarah X Songbird, or Sarah F Songbird, or you could take H, Q, or Z for Sarah Songbird. So in case you want to handle them both all at once, or you want to keep them separate, it's totally up to you. But if you want to make a decision as to how we want to align your name, what I want to do is I want to put it here for everyone to see it, so that you can actually have something that you can hold on to while we're going through the call.
Yeah.
And so if you want, you can pick any one of these numbers now.
So I would choose Sarah S. Fish Leader, and I'll be using that for my business, but I'm using Sarah Songbird for my music. So I like the Sarah F. Songbird for my music.
Okay. So let's do like this. See, with a Life Path 3, we have an artist. So you say music as in you're going to be singing?
I'm a singer, yeah.
Okay. So this isn't just singer now, this is business. Do you as an artist, are you trying to monetize this?
I am now.
Now you will.
I will now.
Well, I mean, and not just because it's like, say it, now you will, say it. It's like, no, this
now
vibration, this vibration says, let's make money. I'm not doing this just for nothing. I want to actually make money with this. And that's what your clients, your producers, your directors, your sound teams will all see this to think, hey, she's walking around like a business, not just like an artist who wants to, Britney Spears this shit. No, you actually want to, like do something with yourself. It's not just the machine. It's going to be the passion around it as well too. So looks
absolutely
good. Take this real quick. Let's do that. All right. Looks good. Looks good to me. In terms of your full legal name, does this still show up, or you're legally something else right now, right?
Yeah, legally I'm Sarah Ferreira.
So now you're separating. I would imagine the name is being separated from you, or are you going to keep that thing legally?
I've just been in limbo with that question.
Yeah.
We've been separated for 2.5 years now.
I think that spiritually speaking, you'll probably feel better if you denounce the name, just between me and you and the rest of us. But if you do and you go back for a legal name change and Ashley makes it, I would absolutely put an S on top of that. I would not go back to Sarah Ashley Fish Leader. I would use that as an opportunity to get away from the part of you who fights too hard and that does nothing to show for it. The fighter is now in resolution with your business. So it could even go down from Ashley down to S. If you're not too fond of the middle name, I don't know. But this would be something you would talk about in a personal session if you want to get in with me for one, okay?
Uh-huh.
Any questions?
No, that feels really good.
Okay, I also have another question for you. I want to spell this out. So it's Sarah, Ashley, and then how do you spell your last name? Or the one you're using right now?
So my legal name right now is Sarah Ashley Fish Leader Ferreira.
Fish Leader. Okay, but that's like your full legal name. So is there any, and Ferreira is like this, F-E-R-I-E-A, like that?
F-E-R-R-E-I-R-A.
Like that?
Uh-huh.
Is this how you show up like on a day-to-day basis, or do you go back to Fish Leader now?
I kind of swing back and forth depending on who I'm in conversation with, but at work I use at the school that I work at, I use Sarah Ferreira.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys all written reports. So you guys are going to get an owner's manual. It's going to have 2 names on it, the one you were born with and the one you use today. Would you like me to use this name, or would you like me to use your original maiden name?
What does that mean? Like,
let's just quickly take a quick look here. I'm just going to show you guys an example. When we do, let's see if I can find someone who's not going to be upset if I do this to them. Okay, so it's not in here. Oh, here it is. So you guys are going to get a written report, okay? And it's going to show a lot of the, do I have a place to change pages? I don't. That's me talking.
Directing people.
Whoops. So we have, I can't scroll down, but it's going to show two names, the one that you are born with and then the one that you use day to day. So if in case you use it just in one place, it may be of value to you. Or if you want, I'll throw back the fish leader. But if you've been separated and you plan on not going back, I would suggest that you take fish leader unless you're super curious as to how Ferreira kind of messed you up a little bit. It's up to you.
How it messed me up?
Yeah, because the vibration is going to shift you around a little bit.
Right. Yeah. I am a little curious about that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's enough said. And it's enough to find out about who you are because you've been running this vibration for a few years. So it will be accurate to you. Okay.
Yeah, I've been running the mixed vibration for at least 2 years.
Hey, that's all good. Honestly, like, welcome to the rest of the world. I've got a bunch of names. Everyone does this. If you're not alone, but at the same time, let's reconcile. And not the relationship, your name. Let's reconcile your name. So
Right.
What we're going to do is we're going to move on. If you have any questions or anything comes up, go ahead and put it in the chat or just unmute yourself and interrupt us. It's all good.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. So blessed and very, very grateful for the opportunity to help you level up in life and in business. You doing this right now and taking these new letters, you give my life purpose and meaning. And I'm not even kidding. Like, this is your life. This is not a joke. Okay. Susanna,
Yes.
cool. Okay. Susanna, you ready? Can you unmute yourself? You want to come and talk to me? Let's see if I can get you unmuted. Can I unmute you?
Yeah. Perfect.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. How are you enjoying it so far?
Really exciting.
Let's get your biggest takeaway.
So the number 6 is my biggest takeaway.
I love your life path. Look at her life path. It says 6, 7, 8, 9, or 6, 7, 9. She's literally got the top 4 of all of the houses. Okay,
Yeah.
this is good. This is a good looking chart, just from the outset of it. Then we have a severe challenge of self. You're like dead set bent on helping other people, and it'll almost be like you failed if suddenly you can't. So we want to really approach this. Are you still Susana Bajo Marcos, like everywhere you go, legally speaking, or do you have another name now?
Yeah, that's my name.
There is going to be a strong level of identity inside of this that makes you very powerful, but it also has a very big price to pay. My favorite example is Spider-Man keeps on getting evicted from his apartment because he keeps on going out there doing other things. He doesn't do what he's supposed to do for his responsibilities. So this can be a bit of a challenge, but then I look back to your birthday and I'm like, you know what? You're actually pretty good. This isn't like a bad thing. What we could do, if you like to keep the whole vibration, is we would add a letter. Would you like to do that, or would you like to add a letter just to Susana Marcos?
So yeah, that's what I wanted to go. As my whole entire life, I have the feeling that I didn't want the bajo in the middle of my name. Like I had a rejection because my surnames is Bajo Marcos. There are my 2 surnames that are from my father and then my mother.
Yeah.
So I always have the rejection for the bajo because in Spanish it's a meaning of something low. And I never like it because I'm a lion. And for me, I like to be on the top. I don't like to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I never wanted to have the bajo. So when my children were born, I took the surname out of the names. They don't carry it. And I was about to change mine, but I didn't do it for paperwork because it was complicated since I was out of the country. It's really complicated for me. But I don't identify myself with that surname at all.
But you use it on your Zoom. You use it on your Facebook. You identify everywhere.
I use it. Because I did it a long time ago and I never came to change it. But I don't feel it with me.
I appreciate you. So I'm going to build you a name without Bajo, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now I would be putting the first one you could use would be the letter O.
Mm-hmm.
Like this. So Susana O Marcos would take you into the queen leader. Like this is the lioness, the master of all. So this would really match the vibration of your life path as a life path 6. Right now, you are in a 9/6. If you take a look at this number, it is 966. So it would be matching towards your destiny because you're inside of the 9 part of your life with a 6 life path. This would be the most perfect name for you. And then again, I was like, yeah, we should keep an eye on this one. This is a very powerful chart in case you wanted to take the O. The other word letter would be FGH, would be HQ or Z, and it puts you into a fun. So Susanna Z, Susanna Q, or Susanna H Marcos shows up as let's just enjoy, let's not take things too serious. I just want to run, I want to have fun, I want to have fast, I don't need any strategy. This would be a good strategy to start off with and then upgrade later. Or you may be the type that says, nope, I'm not going to step down, I got to stand up top. I am a leader inside of my life. I do want to have a bigger, more powerful number, which is Susanna O Marcos.
Yeah. I'm that type.
Okay, do you like that word? It's like, does that sound okay to you? Or do we have to find something else that's going to work?
The O is not my favorite. You're missing one A, Susanna. The end. It's not my favorite, the O, but it doesn't, it's in there. And I always have the question as well about taking my husband's name that I never took it. And his surname is Hughes. So it starts with the H.
How do you like Huge?
Hugathes.
Hughes, okay. So we'll go, let's just take a quick peek. I wouldn't use it by itself. What about Susanna? Anything that you would use with Hughes would need an extra letter. So if you were to take Susanna Hughes, you would need Susanna G, Susanna P, or Susanna Y Hughes. But on its own, Susanna Bajo or Susanna Marcos Hughes. How about Bajo Marcos? Let's just try it. Bajo Marco Hughes. If you went by Susanna Bajo Marcos Hughes, it's long, but it also says 966. So it does have a value for you, but it's also at that point very drawn out. Like I have to pull my thing out now. And it's like,
long.
Yeah, it's too long. And I mean, for me, it would be. For you, I probably think that would be real. Like you might feel the same thing, but this would be with the word Hughes on the end of it would line you back up.
Yeah. So my kids are Marcos Hughes. That's the surname they go, and we always have this thing that I cannot identify myself with that surname more than my own one. But I don't like the meaning of having. I like the more powerful one rather than the fun one.
Okay, so let me see if I can find something else that you could use instead of this. Let me see what it would look like. If I take my little calculator or book, I got a book of numbers here. We could take, I think this is going to be FX966. Okay, so we'll go like this. You could take Susanna Kim Marcos. Instead of Kim, you could take Laurel. You could take Claudine, Pauline, Juno, or Jin. So that's not really very much option there. But in case you didn't like the letter O and you're like, well, what else can I use? This would be how you would do it. You could even do U, like two U's, but that's kind of strange as well. This would be the way to run a vibration for Queen.
Yeah, I like that one better, Susanna O Marcos.
Okay, so let's keep it like this for now, and this will work really good for your personal life. It will also work really good for business. Is that something you are considering, or do you want to?
Yeah. So I'm an artist, and I do. I've been working for the last year a lot in my art, and it's been working really good. But in my art company, I got a completely different name.
Yeah.
So.
Do we want to check it really quickly while we can?
Yeah, it's called Delana, Delana, Delana. And then it's creations, but the word creations behind it.
Yeah, okay. This will make you money. You'll do well, and it'll be an expression of your passion. So that's actually a good number. In case you want to keep that for your business. But in terms of your social media entrepreneur business, this would be a good one to use for your public fan page, okay?
Okay, that's cool.
Cool. Did you have any questions?
No.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the honor of doing this. You have no idea how much this makes me feel so super powerful to be able to give you this number. I am so looking forward to seeing what happens to you next.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Kyle, let's step on down if you want to unmute yourself. And let's see if you can do it. Sound test.
I'm here.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for being here. It is a pleasure to have you among us. You're a very smart woman. Okay, we know this. I know this. You know this. Solutions-based, solutions-driven. There's a lot of love underneath as well. I didn't say underneath, say side to side. But you have the two most powerful numbers in the part of your life that you're in right now, 6/8. You have both of them. So we'd like to say that you've been able to create love in your life and wealth in your life, or at least have had the two before at some point, or are we both off from both of those?
I've got tons of love, and I've always got money, but it's how do I want to say this? It's like it comes and it goes. It's not consistent. I can't just, and the thing I want to create more than anything is that balance, to bring the wealth and the love to be equal balance, whereas it's often less money.
So
I have a lot of kids, and they're all grown now, but as a single mom, I think it was this belief that I had to be poor to
Sure.
take care of the kid.
Okay, let's take that out. We don't need that one anymore. How about this though? When we're putting a name together for you, you have to understand something. These powerful numbers in your birthday, and then it squeezes down to a 4. It's like, great, you make a lot of money, you're passionate, sure you can, but then you're only making enough for the end of the day. We're not making enough for the end of all days. It's squeezing down to a number that says, I just work really hard. I don't need to take this too seriously. So, or I don't need to take my business too magnetically. I'm taking my work ethic too seriously. It's a good number, but at the same time, it's something that I would think would be of a pain and So I would like to put you back up, but at the same time, I want to find out a really solid balance. Is it Kyle King plus a letter that we use, or would you like to consider what it would look like to take on a last name? What are your thoughts? How do you want to build your name?
I'm open. I don't have, I mean, I neglected to say when I was married, my last name was Stern, Stern. And it was, so I just dropped my dad's name and my husband's name and came up with Kyle King. So it wasn't like it's a creative journey. It was just a real simple, let's get rid of stuff. Okay. So I'm open.
Okay, so would you consider a name like, okay, what we'll do is we'll look at this. We'll look at Kyle King. The first vibration shows up with passion, independence, leadership, and balance between love and money. So there's a wonderful Kyle B. King, Kyle K. King, Kyle T. King that shows up inside of here that you could use. And then the other one would be D, M, or V, which says, I just want to have fun. I don't need to get too serious here, but I do want to have ambition. I'm a very powerful runner, and I want to make this business fly. So this would be the vibration between Kyle D, Kyle M, or Kyle V King. Or if you want, we can put your cribs back on there if you want to see what that would look like.
No.
Okay. And then that would basically be the number option set for Kyle King. If we want to go into the higher vibe, you could take like 2 letters if you want. I'm just going to see what that would look like. It would look like AJ or AS. So you could go Kyle AJ King, or Kyle AS King, or Kyle JA King, or Kyle SA King. So, those are options for you to get up into here in case you were like, I want to be in this realm. I want to be in the power zone. Or if you want, we can even go up even further. But I think that would be looking at a vibration of U and then H. So Kyle UH would be like Kyle King. I don't think that works. Or you could do Kyle UQ, or Kyle UZ, or Kyle ZU, Kyle ZU. The letter U in combination with HQ or Z takes you into a vibration of one of these. And this is nice because you have the 6 and the 8 right here. So you may be more applicable doing something like this. And if you don't like those letters, you could also take the name. I just do a quick little calculation here. between these numbers, I would be looking at the vibration of 382. So we would be seeing here Lorraine, Leona, Lenora, or Eleanor. So, would be adding to that. But then it would get kind of confusing if you ask me. And I think it takes away from the power of your name. So if you want my personal opinion, your best bet with the single initial to Kyle King would be DM or V. But if you feel like we haven't found it yet, we can always continue to keep going.
So if I went with DM or V, that would just, I'm older and I don't want to do fun or fast. I want to be like really, well, that's not true. I always want it to be fun, but I am leaning towards really exploding my experience, being able to really live fully into the
this is
highest realms that I can.
Well, let's put it this way. This is the punch. This is the explosion. The higher realms are more of the serious, long-term, steadfast numbers. And in case you're like, well, I'm older and I want to make sure that I get this thing done and I want to explode my wealth, then the fun and the fast is like lighting up fireworks. It's literally going to take you there quickly, but it just may not last you forever. You may look at a certain point being like, you know what? I need to get something a little bit more powerful than this. You could even go up to AU, like Kyle AU King. That's another version. But 2 letters, it's tough for me to put 2 letters on someone's name. Doesn't quite fit. Some people are cool with it. Like, I don't care if it's going to make me money. Let's do this. But it's totally up to you. However you want to. If you want, we can keep trying to find another word for this, or we can. You can pick something that. Let's see what would be another one. Let's say if you wanted to be inside of the 966, you would have a number that says 41. So it would look like this. 41.
Yes, Alayna, I am ready for massive growth.
Absolutely right. And it would be like Surya or Prudence. That's not a really powerful looking numbers chart set. So we'll probably leave it at that. Or no, how about this one? 696. Let's go 1 1. So it would be I think we talked about Kyle AJ King, right? And then you could also use.
I sound like a football player.
I know, right? And what about this one? Anne, Christina, Nina, April, Bernice, Marilyn. So there are other ways to run a vibration to get you there. In case you liked one of those letters, that would put you into this vibration, the 696.
Okay, so it's a whole name or it's a letter? There's no just letter?
If it's just letters, you're looking at that option, BK or T, DM or V. And then my choice would go with the DM or V would be your best bet. And if you're looking for something higher, we have to get creative. It'll either be 2 letters, or it'll be another word, or it'll be a different name.
Okay.
So you could take Cribs back. You could take your ex-husband's name back. I don't know how comfortable you would be doing something like that. Kyle King looks really good. It looks really powerful. And it's good on its own. So you may even be like, shoot, I don't know if I really want to change this because the name actually works. The problem is of its frustration. It's frustration. That's the problem with the name.
Well, I'm ready for less work and more fun. So
here's what I will suggest. I'm going to suggest that you go Kyle V. King just for now. And then if you want to change it, if you feel aligned to, or was there another letter that you liked, like the D or the M?
No, I like the V.
So let's take the fun and the fast vibration for now. And then if you change your mind or want to change it later, we can always chat about this and have a conversation about it. But let's just put this to here and let's change this back to green. And then that way you're in a fun, a fast, let's run, let's just explode, no thinking, no need for thinking, no need for strategy. Strategies like for thinkers, this is for a doer. This is a doer vibration. You could also play with Kyle King Cribs and then put a letter to that as well in case you wanted to go in that direction. Then it'll be Kyle King U Cribs. So something to think about.
All right. So why don't we just, because I don't want to hold, this could take a while. So why don't you and I have a private session soon? And because I don't want to make any changes until it feels right. And this feels, when I look at it, it just seems, it doesn't hit me 100%.
Okay. let's go back to 584. And this one, it does actually work. If I meet this number, I have respect for you. I have understanding of your vision, your purpose. I know you work really freaking hard. And yes, that does show up good. It works well. It's just that you may be looking for a bit of a boost. So just food for thought, but we'll come back to that a little bit later, okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, cool. I feel okay leaving you with a number like that because it is actually an aligned number. It does actually have a lot of power to it. It's just the frustration of like too much work, and we would want to move away from that, especially with numbers like your birthday. Okay, so we'll come back to you.
Yeah. I got a name about 10 years ago from the universe, but I don't want to take everybody's time up with that right now.
Are you sure? Because I don't mind to quickly see if it's going to work.
It's long. You want to hear it?
Would you use it if it worked?
I might. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Because it's been there. It's Trey, T-R-E. Alayna.
T-R-E?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Alayna.
Yep.
And the last is Savanasti.
S-A-V.
S-A-V. Let's see. S-A-V-A-N-A-S-T-I.
Okay. I'm just gonna take King out for a second. It would still need something. So even if you put Kyle Tremaluna Savanesti and you put something else on it, it would still need another letter. So it would probably be really long. But if you do want to do that, it would be like the letter X or the letter O.
What if you got rid of the King and the Kyle?
If you got rid of Kyle and King and you just went for Tremaluna Savanasti, I would be adding the letter A. And go Tremaluna A Savanasti. Ooh, ooh, man. I can't even say words like that without feeling the power in them. Like that, this is right here.
Okay. Yeah, so let's do a private session so I don't hold everybody up, because this has been on the back of my mind for almost 10 years. So
okay. Yeah, in which case there may even be a legal name change ready for you. All right, and so you're legally still Kyle King Krebs?
No, when I got divorced, I asked to have my kids have my name and to have my name just be Kyle King. And he said, well, you can have your name, but you have to adopt your kids. It's like, okay, forget it.
Sure.
So
okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll leave it.
So my legal name is Kyle King. That's my legal name.
Okay, it's actually not a bad name. So you're good with that, but what we'll do is we'll come back to you privately, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, how about Nicole? Is Nicole with us? Just gonna see if I can see you. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
You ready for this? What's your biggest takeaway so far?
That's 7. That's needing to find my voice.
Oh yeah. Felt that, eh? It's okay. You see a lot more than most of us. And are you still Nicole Alexis Galasso?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not a bad look. It really is not a bad look at all. But the reality is that you're working too hard and you're not speaking up for yourself.
Right.
Like this, and you're one of the more harder working people in the bunch. You're the Life Path 4. There's a foundation inside of this. Because the thing is that 7 is a power. Mm-hmm. So in case you were to keep it, let's say you were to keep something like this. Right now you're at the 156 already. So the next vibration you would take would be B, K, or T. You would go Nicole B, Nicole K, or Nicole T Galasso. Or if you wanted to go into the purple, I would go Nicole Alexis B, K, or T Galasso. So you could add B, K, or T to Alexis. You could even spell Alexis like this, like Alexis, like that, and then, just kind of be kind of quirky. If you didn't want to add an extra letter, could you add a B, K, or T in there? No, it doesn't look like you could hide any other one, but that one would take you up to the 786, would be a really powerful vibe. Or you could take the D, M, or V and go a little bit more quieter and go into this vibration of independence. That 1 and that 7 do work for you. Just because you got that 7 and you feel like your voice isn't there doesn't mean you want to now suddenly be the loudest person on the street. You may love to have that value of reserve. Being now my balance of voice helps me think. It doesn't make me anxious. These 7s now allow you to access the power of the 7 as opposed to letting it feel like it's something you're missing.
Okay. So the D, the M, or the V, I would add that to the Nicole Alexis Galasso.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that feels.
Like that. This.
No.
This. Like this. We could try Nicole Alexis if you want to quickly tie that on and see what that says.
Sure.
Let's see if we got another one hiding in here. Sometimes the first and the middle name work really good. It'd be weird if I had to add another vibration to this. Yeah, I would. So I would be adding a letter D, M, or V. So it'd be Nicole V Alexis, or Nicole D Alexis, or Nicole V M Alexis, which would be like, it's a little strange.
Yeah. No.
And at the same time, with a name like Nicole Galasso, you may be feeling like, do I really even want to change this name? It actually works. It works smart. It's not a bad look. If you want to step into the higher realms of things, you'd be taking a BK or a T towards Nicole Alexis Galasso.
Okay.
And also the sevens, don't feel pressure to rush. We're here for you. The reality is that you may feel like this is something you actually need to think about instead of just decide. And food for thought for everyone. This is your life. This is not some sort of a game, a trick, or a joke. You can't just, I don't know, oh, whatever. Someone did that to me the other day, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, I will not, that's really bad to rush your life because we feel conscious of other people's time and energy. But I would definitely suggest that you really sit with this. It could take you up to 3 days to really see it. You may want to listen to the replay. That could be it. But at the same time, with Nicole Galasso, I don't feel bad leaving your name because it actually still meets the requirement of the works well, works smart, or mastery. So I absolutely like it. But you may feel like you're wanting a little bit more somewhat at some point.
Okay. So I'll get back to you, or maybe I'll book a private session. But yeah, let's just leave it now for the Nicole Galasso.
Okay.
I got to think about it some more. But thank you so much.
Absolutely. Very, very blessed and honored to be able to have you here. How about Sarah Mariposa? How's it going? Are you with me? Can you unmute yourself? Just let me know if you can. Let's get you unmuted if you're with us. I see you. Yep, there you are. Let's see if I can. There you go. Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Let's take a look at this. I see a very strong warrior vibration. You also have a thrill for travel and to move around and to get things done. There's going to be a lot of independence in your name as well. Double ones, which would say, I don't need nobody. I absolutely need to be who I am. And that sense of self will be a powerful beacon for leadership. And then you stop growing. At 55, you just say, nope, screw it. Being a senior is not for me. I'm just going to go and be a little girl again. And you've got your childhood ahead of you. So this is a wonderful looking vibration for sure. You got to be like...
Sorry to interrupt you. So you're talking about the Sarah Hansen, right?
No, I'm talking about your birthday in specific right now.
Okay.
So this is your birth path that doesn't change. Leadership, more leadership, independence, powerful woman. This is someone I would keep an eye on in my business. You're also going to be very passionate and ambitious, but this can be transient in terms of wealth. Your name this isn't your legal name anymore, though. You're about to change it, or is it still that way?
So it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
So I go by Banazak legally.
Yep.
Which is the name that I've had for the past 4 years, and I cannot wait to get rid of it. So my Mariposa is running publication now until the 22nd, but I don't really know how connected I feel with that one either. I mean, I do, but it's like a chosen name. So it was just kind of like a reaction to my independence with the leaving the Banazak behind.
Sure.
So
Mariposa is like French for butterfly.
Right. Yes.
So I mean, I felt the transformation that you went through in that owning in that name. But the problem is when you look at it in numerology, you work too hard. And
it's hard, and that's accurate. Yeah.
It's like it's just way too hard working, and you're not going to complain either. You're just going to be like, "Oh, it's all good. No, I'll just take the extra shift. It's no big deal." And then it just kind of like takes you down, and your name is like, "Screw that! I'm gonna break something." And then your name, what you were born with, speaks of a mastery vibration. So, most authentic thing, authentic, I would say if you plan on changing your name back again, I would probably suggest you go back to Sarah Elizabeth Hansen. Would also be a really powerful number to use. But if you do want to measure Sarah Mariposa with a letter, it would be D, M, or V, and it would take you into here. It would be very quiet. So it would be very, and these numbers, it doesn't seem like that's you.
Right.
It doesn't feel like that's you. Or it could be this one a little bit louder, BKT, and now you're moving forth back into a vibration of leadership, passion. The 5 is there, and you have 6, balancing wealth out. It just may still get itchy to think, but I had the 8. I had a number that was up here. This is who I truly was at that moment of my life, right? I miss this now. You still are spiritually entitled to a higher level of a name without making it weird. So I'm not sure if I'm going back in that direction, but those are my 2 cents. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I've always felt the power of the Sarah E. Hansen. It's a very strong name, but just the connection with my maiden name, I'm not sure if it's really there. So I would be open to something like with that level of mastery. To change it to even, I'm open to just something completely new.
Okay, so how about we'll try something here. I'm just gonna see Lisa. I'm just trying to find something that I can use without going to create. How about this one? Let's take a look and see if I've got something else. Elizabeth. Let's see if I can find something new for you. We'll go Elizabeth Hansen, see what that says, 966. So pretty powerful vibe there. And then we can also take the word 966, right? You could take Sarah Kim, Sarah Claudine, or Sarah Pauline, or Sarah Juno, Sarah Jen. Those would be numbers that you could use to get back to that vibe. If you wanted to go back to the vibration without taking that name. Or if we want to move forward, you could even take, let's go, Sarah is a 292. So we're trying to get to a 656, right? We'd have to add 4. So it would be 494. So it would be like that. Okay, let's try it. So you could add a name that says Anastasia is the only woman name. Julina. That's about it.
Yeah.
There are other ways to figure that one out as well. Like Sarah. How about Sarah Elizabeth Mariposa? How's that strike you?
I could live with that.
Let's see how it looks. Still would need another letter. So we're how about Sarah Liz? That's a good one. Or how about Lisa? No, it doesn't work. It would be Lisa X. No, or Lisa O. How about Eliza for Elizabeth? Would still need something. How about Beth? No.
I went by Sarah Beth for a long time.
How about Sarah Beth?
Yeah.
You would be adding a letter N or W, so Sarah W. Beth, or you would be adding N-O-P, Sarah G. Beth, Sarah P. Beth, or Sarah Y. Beth. How about
W feels good.
Sarah W. Beth? That would be right here.
But then that would just be the whole name, Sarah W. Beth?
Yeah, like this. So I'm not sure how you feel so much about it.
Yeah, not too great.
Right, yeah, it kind of feels like it's missing something.
Yeah.
See, this one, you can go Sarah V. Mariposa, you could go Sarah D. Mariposa, or Sarah M. Mariposa. Hansen doesn't look like it's making a comeback.
No.
So let's go like this. And you could also take Sarah F. or Sarah X. Elizabeth. That would be right here. Sarah F. or Sarah X. Elizabeth, like that.
And the Sarah V. Mariposa would be the same numbers as Hansen?
Let's just see.
If it's a V?
Oh, a V?
Right.
Yeah, let me just see here. That would be right up here. So it would be in this vibration, the 178. So it would still end in the 8, but it would be a bit more independent than it would be partnership and connection. Wouldn't be bad. There's a lot of independence in your chart already, but it may just be a little bit too quiet for your liking. If you want the name that's going to be the most powerful and dynamic for your being, without changing it too much, it would be Sarah B, Sarah K, or Sarah T Mariposa. That would be like the one that actually helps you, like, because the 1, 5, 6, we've got 1s, 5s, and then 6s in your original chart, so it kind of like matches where you're at. How about taking the H off of Sarah? Would you consider something like that, or would you?
Oh, that's tough.
That's okay. No. I'm not going to sell that to you. I just didn't know if you were thinking of if that would be something you consider.
Ask any Sarah, and they're really connected or not connected to the H.
That's fine. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, we have a session booked, so I'd like to go deeper.
Okay. We do
at that time.
Okay. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll leave it for you, and then we're connecting in a couple of days.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you. Okay. So how about Maka? Are you with us, Maka? How's it going? Just go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello.
I'm here.
Okay. So we have the other life path 5. This is like double dragon between Sarah and Maka here. So this is a wonderful vibe. I like this. Where we're looking at your name here, we have a life path 5. So it's going to be a feisty energy. Like Sarah, there's also a large level of independence. But then you fall under the double 5. This is not somebody you want to ever get into an argument with, okay? Like, you are going to absolutely not lose. There's a value inside of there that this is a very traveling vibration as well. So we have a very powerful, feisty, freedom feeling, but you're going to be landing in a wealth vibration. So we like this. And also your name that you're born with, are you still legally Erin Beth McInerney Dela Cruz?
No, my last name is Casenario now.
Okay, I can see it there. And so is it Erin Beth McInerney Casenario?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have that. So we go Erin Beth McInerney and then Casenario, so that I can give you that as a written report name. Would you like to use that inside of this? We have a lot of names to choose from.
I know.
You could go McInerney Casenario. You can go like what about Maca Casenario? Is that something you would choose?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're choosing it right now. It's on your Zoom, right? Just going to make sure I see how it's spelled. Let's go and try it. Casenario. We would need to add a C, an L, or a U. So Maca U Casenario, or Maca C Casenario, or Maca L Casenario. Or you could take, let's see if we can put another one in there. Let's try.
Would it be too much to do like Macanani Casenario?
Let's try it.
Okay.
I would be absolutely putting an A, a J, or an S. So McInerney J, McInerney S, or McInerney A Casenario takes you between, this one here is going to be the A, and then this one here would be the J or the S. The J or the S. So you got powerful vibrations of choice between these two numbers. That's in between McInerney Casenario. But when I find something like this, I'm like, pick the J, pick the S, because these are one of the more powerful vibes you can take. I'm just going to take King out since we're a bunch of ladies here. So we're going to do, nobody's going to want to.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, it's like, can I have the other one? No, it's the same thing. Actually, it's more like this. It's more like Queen and then King. So yeah, this would be the more valid, but they're both sort of the same. So we would kind of take it like that and go like this. So that's how it would work on there. I would say, let's go Queen. There you go. For the J or the S, or we can still keep playing with it. Because what about if you just take like McInerney, and then how about Erin? No, I wouldn't do that. How about Beth? I wouldn't do that either. How about DC? No, wouldn't do that. So McInerney Casenario is limited, but it does hold a sincere power if you take the A, J, or S. If none of those work for you, we should probably be thinking about something else. How about Erin or Maca Erin or Maca Beth? No.
What about Erin Casenario?
Erin Casenario, you would be putting a letter C, a letter L, or a letter U. Those are good vibes. C, D, E, or the letter N or the letter W would take you all the way up to this side. N or W. That would be Aaron Casenario with an N or W. I wouldn't do the E, and then you could also take, or if you took Aaron McInerney, you could actually put an X in there as well, or an F, or an O. So you do have choices in case you're like, well, what about Aaron McInerney? Could be good. Would be okay with this one. This is much easier to work with. But this McInerney Casenario would be a really powerful place to put that in. Even Aaron C or Aaron L Casenario, also really good too. Aaron
Wow.
C or Aaron L Casenario. I'll be straight. If it doesn't give you the instant surge of electricity, it's probably not the number for you. Like, I don't want you to fit into it if it's just like, meh. It has to absolutely punch. Let's try Aaron Beth. Did we try that one? Okay. How about Aaron? You could do BS or BA or AB. Casenario would also work. Or how about we could do Maca U Casenario or Maca C or Maca L Casenario. There's also Maca E or Maca N or Maca W Casenario. Like it was McInerney, right?
Yeah, I think I like keeping the Makanani together. So probably the Makanani S Casenario.
Okay, let's try that one.
Yeah.
Makanani and then S. Supreme level of power. Supreme level of power. This is good. Okay, so let's try this one. Makanani and then S Casenario. You could even spell Casenario with 3 S's or Casenarios. Like you could do that instead of having the initial. So in case you want to do that, food for thought, but let's keep it like this instead, okay?
Okay.
And then we're going to pull this out and let's do something like this. And we'll do like this and we'll go copy it. And what about for your business page? Are you willing to put an X or an F in there? Or do you want to just do the same thing for business?
What was the last part?
You could do the same thing, Makanani S Casenario, or you could put an F or an X in there instead.
I think I like the X.
So let's do like this. Like that, right?
Yeah.
This is good for business. I like it, I'm biased, that's my name. But I like the number that it shows up with because it leads with business, but then it quickly gets back into the love. So you absolutely care about the people you work with. Cool. How about Deborah? Okay, did you have any questions?
No. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much again for that amazing honor and pleasure to be able to do this with you. I know it can be a little tough to fit into these right away. In case any of you have second thoughts or second guess yourself or feel like you made the wrong step, I'll do a couple of stress tests with you. Sign your name. Sign your new name. Go and see if it actually falls off the pen. If it stops you or something zaps you or it doesn't work, then hey, I get it. But if it does work and you're like, ooh, I like this feeling, then we know that you've got a wonderful feeling there, okay? Okay, how about Deborah? Are you with us? Deborah, what's going on? Just trying to find you. It doesn't look like she's here. Am I missing her? If I'm missing you, I'm missing you. I'm going to say this for you anyway. So in case you're here or you're watching the replay, let's pretend you're here. I'm going to be the voice in your head, okay? Okay. So as a Life Path 6, we see a vibration in here that says loving, caring, and absolutely very loyal. Okay, so the 6 wants to give a vibration of family, and look at Susanna's the other 6. She's like, she will be in replay. It's all good. The other Life Path 6 gets it and will speak up for her. Wonderful vibration. You guys are an absolutely powerful team. There's a sensation of loyalty to Deborah as well. Like she absolutely cares as a partner, but she's a growing sensation of leader. So she wants to stand in power and absolutely wants to stand in its version of it. Oh yeah, Harmony. That's right. Sorry, I was looking at it from the other side. Remember, she wasn't supposed to be here. So Harmony West works. It works good. But when it gets to Harmony Rose West, it unbalances itself. If we want to keep the good times rolling and absolutely keep Harmony Rose West Then you could take the letter D, M, or V. Okay, so Harmony Rose D, Harmony Rose for Desharnay or Deborah could be good, yeah. Or Harmony Rose M or Harmony Rose V West. That's a little long. Some people are cool with it, some people are not. Then you could go D, E, F, which would be like this. 538 F or X looks cool. Harmony X Rose West. That sounds a pretty powerful name in my opinion. And then the other one would be O, Harmony O Rose West or Harmony Rose O West. I think O Rose West sounds a little bit easier, but it also starts to sound like a bit of a tongue twister. So I try saying Harmony O Rose West 5 times fast. It doesn't work. So in case you're feeling like, I don't know, and I don't know if there will be a timestamp, but we started at 8. We'll go 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11. So it's 5 minutes before the third hour. So in case anyone wants to let her know when we start talking about her, it's basically 2 hours and 55 minutes in. So she can zone in on that. But of course, she's going to want to see the whole thing. So it's okay, Harmony, if that's the way you want to run it. But Harmony West is good in case you want to take Harmony Rose West and balance it. You would add a letter, or I would just take Rose out and go Harmony West and let your business run. But that would be a wonderful vibration for you. You get a chance to come and talk to me. All of you guys get a chance to come and talk to me, whatever. You get to come see me. It's no big deal. And let me know if I need to change anything around this for you. But at a quick and so we're gonna have to pass on Harmony because she's not with us. But Maka, I'm curious. When you use your first and last name, would you be using Aaron Casenario, or would you prefer that? Because I'm going to give you a report that shows a first name and a last name only that you use today. So if you'd like, do people know you as Aaron Casenario, or would you rather be shown up as Makanani Casenario on your report?
Either way. So Aaron is like my professional work name, and Makanani is like my family friendly name. So okay. I go by both.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I will show you all of the names, and
okay.
then I'll make sure that you see that. But when it comes to making money, you'll probably be more concerned with how it shows up Aaron, as opposed to for friends and family, they love you anyway. So there probably is going to be a bit more of opportunity for awareness inside of Aaron Casenario. But then we're not going to forget about Aaron Beth McInerney Dela Cruz. That's something that you have. So let's go on to Maricela. Are you with us? Hello. Let's get you unmuted. There you are. How are you?
I'm good. Hi.
Thank you for joining us last minute. I appreciate you so much for being here. I'm just going to, because I'm super OCD, I'm just going to pretend like Harmony said, I like it just Harmony West. Let's just do that. And let's get her green so that I don't have to leave it undone. But Maricela, this is a fun chart. This was a fun one to read.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Like the double fives in Makanani, you have the double sevens. So you're going to be a little bit more quieter, a bit more intuitive. I can definitely feel a sensation of like intuitive, like a feeling of you just know what people are thinking or going through without having to say very much. But there's also love and passion around this. So there's a time to be a sweet little girl. And 68, this makes you 49 or 51?
50.
Okay, yes, 51 this year. So, and not trying to make you any older, any faster. I get it. The 3 in your chart's like, I don't feel my age at all anyway. There's a big kid inside of you. There's always has been a young vibration inside of you for sure. So we could keep the good times rolling and go Maricela C or Maricela L for this vibration would look like the fun and fast. And this is nice because part of you is like that. Or if you take the U, it would look like 628. This is more like Maricela U Rodriguez now shows up more of the long term, the parent that cares, the feeling of like let's help my kids. That shows up inside of the 628. Very powerful switch. I'm actually dealing with this right now. I'm planning on changing my name, and I could either go into a 358 or a 628. And I'm thinking I'm leaning towards the more serious one, but it's not the letter U. For me, it's something else. The 7 will denote a very quiet vibration. The 3 denotes a very childlike one. And then the next 7 says very intuitive, and it can almost feel frustrating to find the voice because Maricela Rodriguez is going to have frustration. She's going to want to say something, going to want to express herself. So food for thought. You could also take the letter A, and that would go to 426. And I mean, I guess I probably should have mentioned this earlier. You guys are kind of hip to the game. If any of you feel like the number is the right one for that person, I would probably recommend that you, drop it in the chat in case. But any comments? What's your biggest takeaway so far?
My biggest takeaway is I think when you were describing the number 7, because I felt exposed, but in a good way. I often don't say what I'm thinking in terms with my family, and then when I do mention things, they turn towards me and say, well, "How do you know that?" And because it doesn't feel safe, like to mention certain things, and I do sit back and sort of just observe.
Because you don't know how you know it. You're a nonlinear thinker. You just get it downloaded from some sort of spiritual source, and you're like, "Good question. I saw it on TV somewhere. I don't know. Like, what do you want from me?" Like, I just know things, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting how sometimes people just share things with me. So.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of that because you're in a double 7 right now. So there's going to be a lot of you're just sitting there, and somebody's like, "So well, when I was 24," and then you're just like, "I didn't ask." And that feeling is like you're just sort of receiving this information. It's like being a soundboard for people. This is a very holy space. If you've got a spiritual connection to God, I would absolutely recommend you fall into that for sure. But I would trust you with secrets. That's probably why people want to talk to you.
Yeah, and sometimes I do rub people the wrong way because I can see through their BS.
Yeah.
And I call it, inappropriately or not, I don't know. So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that happens. And you don't have a middle name.
I don't.
You're like the first Spanish person that doesn't have Rodriguez, like all
right. I figured my name is so long, my first name, that's probably more than enough.
So what about, would you shorten it to Mary or Chella, or do you do anything like that?
Well, my family and friends call me Mari, not Mary, but Mari.
So Mari is an M-A-R-I?
Yeah, M-A-R-I.
Would you like to test that and see what it says?
Sure.
Okay, because that's going to be a level of authenticity for you, right? So what we'll do is we'll take a look at this one, and let's see here. We're going to go Mari, and then we go Rodriguez, R-O-D-R-I-G.
Yeah, it's G-U-E-Z.
Okay, so if you were to take this one, it would still need a D, an M, or a V. So Mari M, Mari D, or Mari V Rodriguez puts you up until here. So it would give you a strong boost, but it still requires a letter that isn't quite yours. Let me just see if let me try something else here. Yeah, I can't unless we go like this. No. You could take Maricela with 2 L's, but that was in there as well, so it's kind of a funny way of spelling your name. But if you took just Mari, then you would be putting an extra letter in there, like the D, M, or V, or the F or the X. So Mari X Rodriguez, or Mari O Rodriguez, or Mari F Rodriguez. So there are other options you could take inside of there as well. But I don't know. What are you thinking? Because the C and the L, you could hide that in your name if you wanted to, but not too common that people want to mess up their full name to do this.
Well, I'm not sure actually.
That's okay, because I see those double 7s in your chart. I was more expecting you to say that than to pick a letter. To be fair, I'm like, she's probably going to say she doesn't know. And that's okay. If you don't know or you don't feel one right now, we're not going to make you rush or make you pick one. But what I will suggest is, let's see if I can pick out the one that would be the most coolest for you in the meantime. 6/7, 786, 876. Let's see if I got it. It would be a bit of a complication to be able to find one that's just ready to go. I would think that if we were going to put anything, that you would change it to double L for Maricela. Or you would put the C in there or the L in there, or you would go Mari X Rodriguez. Those would be my options, my top picks. But if you want, what we can do is we can always just put one in for a placeholder, and then as you you could even do something like this. So this is what my cousin did, because she's like, I really don't want to change my name around, so she just put double A's at the end of her name. Or does that sound a little strange to you?
I don't know.
How do you respond to people who ask about your name change? You basically tell them, mind your own business. No, I'm just kidding. You could tell them that it was numerology that made you do it. You could tell them that, you're trying something new for business. You could basically come up with something that you like about that letter and just say, oh yeah, I could use this, and just, come up with a meaning for yourself so that you have something you can use. That would be a really powerful one as well. But if you're not, because sometimes in certain circles, you start saying the word numerology, and people are going to be like, oh my God, you shouldn't touch stuff like that. This is bad for you. And so it could be difficult to take a name. But at the same time, what's more difficult? To explaining things to your family, or, not having the business alignment? That's going to be the most powerful thing. So could be something that to consider or think about. But just so you can think about it, let's go L for love, okay? So we'll just do L for love right now, and then the L can represent whatever you want it to be. And that feeling is to think you may be running into a new vibration. You may be actually shifting it around. I just, for my OCD, want to think that this at least helps your brain identify with something. And it does have a wonderful vibration for push. It leans more towards your name, but the value of 7s is being left alone. So you may be thinking about something a bit more serious in the long term as well. Let's think about this. How about, would you take a new, see, Susanna loves that. Would you take a new name altogether, like a new middle name instead of a letter? Would you be open to that? Are there any, how about Maricela Mari Rodriguez? Let's try something like that. Would you work with something like that? No, it would still need another something in there. So what we would do is do something like this. Yeah, I can't level it out too quickly, but everyone seems to love that one for sure. But that's great. Everyone loves it. I get it. What about you? How about Mario? Mario Rodriguez? I don't think so. That might be a little bit too
masculine.
Yeah, a little bit too much Super Nintendo there. So I'm not sure if you're going to be too interested in something like that. But how about we let it climb on you? It could be the number that you actually do end up picking. It's just that there may be a 2-day delay. I didn't take that out long. It's funny. I've come up with some pretty funny things, people's names that they had choice of, and I'm like, yeah, we're not using that. So you can leave it, take it, or what I would suggest is that you write your name down, see what it looks like and see what it feels like. Maricela A, or Maricela C, Maricela L. Those vibrations show up. Maybe we book a session to work in one-on-one together. We dive in deep, but those would be my thoughts and on that. I would say that you're probably going to wait a couple of days before you make a decision anyway, whether it's the right name or not. How about, was that Mari V. Rodriguez? I can see Alayna wanting to take that one because that's the one she's got, and at the same time, it's the most powerful one of all. So if you're okay, would you feel more powerful if I did something like this, just for the time being, to keep it as a placeholder?
Yeah, that feels better.
That feels better. Okay, let's get you into the purple, and then let's feel into this one. And sometimes I like to do that just to get a stress test from someone. I'm like, let's just leave it like that for 3 days, and they're like, I don't know, wait, can I do something else? This one brings you to sincere power. Okay.
I get the sense of victory.
It is, absolutely. I named my son with this. This was like the victory of all things. This is literally the most perfect name in numerology. So for you to hold on to it, absolutely, I would suggest that you do something like this.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay, now everyone's dying to know Alayna's numbers. Let's talk about Alayna's numbers for everybody. You guys get a good understanding for why she is the way she is. Okay, we've got a wonderful sweetheart vibration. Alayna, do you want to unmute yourself and say what's up?
I'm unmuted. What's up?
What's up? Thank you so much for putting this on. I absolutely just am so in love with all of you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing people, and your team is looking really sharp right now. Your numbers are, it's kind of like the symbology of a small looking non-assuming pond that has a big cave underneath. The 3, nothing to see here. It's all good, super sweet, very gentle. It's all gravy. But then the 4, the 8, the 9, it's like underneath you got a back cave Then we look at your name, Alayna Marie Nath, and we see a vibration in here that's not messing around. Like, this is a protection of things. You're absolutely going to work super hard. You care, which pushes you to work even harder. That 8 that you're in right now, the 8/3, will look effortless, but you'll know better. You know that you're putting in work, you're putting in effort, putting in everything you can. But those are wonderful numbers to create a large level of wealth. You did ask me if we could get into it a little bit. I don't mind if that's what you want to do. I would say the more you get into it with your group in front of them, the better it is for your magnetism of assuming the name and the power.
Absolutely.
But yeah. Okay. So did you have any specific questions about where you're going or where you're headed? Do you want to make some sort of declarations right now?
No, I feel like there was a big shift. I mean, there's so much work and so much growth and so much healing, and everybody knows that's in this team is this is just an ongoing, beautiful journey, right? But if I look at what's happened to my business since I shifted my name, is it coincidence? The people that have come onto my team, is it so things have completely transformed my life and business since November, December, when we had our call, when I changed I am stepping into some bigger things, bigger leadership. And I feel like, gosh, when we first talked and we talked about staying in the queen energy, and that's really felt really big and really right for me. And I shied away from the global vision, the world domination energy. But I feel like I'm kind of ready to step toward that. And so I wanted to look at what other possibilities were there for my name.
Okay.
Even further into my own power.
Because Alayna N or Alayna W now takes you for the next step.
Yeah.
And right as we do that, I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. It's
11. There you go.
It's like, all right, okay, fine. Well, if that's the way you want to run with it, if that's the way the spiritual vision wants to come in, I would take that as a spiritual sign that that's the thing you need to take.
Yeah.
Would it be an N or a W?
I think W, honestly, because Alayna N Nathi. Well, I don't know. Maybe we could get everybody's opinion on that. Let's look at it.
Why don't you? What we'll do is we're gonna go Alayna N Nathi, and then Alayna W Nathi, and let's put like this, and then the other one says W. Let's go like that. Okay. Susanna's saying W. I would trust her intuition because I know her chart now. I would also look at this and say that's a severe level of challenge. Okay, 2, we've got it. Anyone? Yeah, warrior, winning, wealth. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was that all night long because I saw my old chart when you first pulled it up. So for the last 3 hours, I've been writing out Alayna W.
Okay. Well then, yeah, let's not be counterintuitive if that's the one that shows up. And to be fair, the Alayna Nathi was the same thing as Balazs Kardos. And then he put the W in there to achieve the same vibration that now you hold.
Yeah.
So we want to capitalize on this. And we look at your birthday and it says 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So you're inside of a larger style of life that you are not going to avoid. This is more like prepping you for the larger level of leadership. Right. The thing about this is to think that it's going to take you a couple of years. It's not something you do overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. But Kyle's saying, does this mean it's way heavy and hard? Yes. But the thing is that so is your birthday, so is your birth year. So you're already going up that hill anyway. And if you just take a butter knife with you and you're fighting a dragon with numbers that tall, you may feel like you're under-equipped. So this may be more fitting.
Right.
And also, there's this little thing inside of your stomach that just like pulls you or pushes you, and it gives you that vibration in there. And as I was saying it, it said 1111. For me, I'm like, whatever I said, I must do it. I must do it, must compute. Because I know those numbers to be very super spiritually connecting for me. So I might want to be considering the Alayna W Nathi, the one that you should probably be taking.
Yeah.
And it allows you, because imagine this, as 966, the queen vibration, you had a bunch of entrepreneurs, or at least your top row generals, who are all having mediocre names. No offense, ladies, you guys are all awesome, but they were unbalanced. Now that they've all gone into balance in 966 this and 696 there and 876, and they're all lined up, you're like, well, I got to step up here as a leader. I got to get to my own next frontier as well. If they're growing, I'm also growing. And this is where the W comes in, okay?
Yeah, that feels fantastic.
It does. It really feels like a massive level of power. I have a number like this that I don't use, okay? And for me, I get a little bit hesitant to think, ooh, am I ready for this? And I maybe in one day or 1 year or sometime in my life, but I feel that sensation of it's not that it's heavy or hard, it's that it's sacrificing of the more fun things. And as your life path 3, I feel pretty safe thinking that you're going to always be fun. But at the same time, if you do want to look to the higher horizons and you want to see above the planet, then you may be looking at a name that high, okay?
And I'm turning 48 in a couple weeks, and I feel like between now and 55, why not put my head down and make this the life-changing time, you know?
Yeah.
I'm all about creating wealth and abundance. Like that is my number one goal right now, so that I can, you know, enjoy things with my family. And I just feel like it's the time to step into this, step up to this. It doesn't feel heavy or hard to me. It feels big and slightly scary, but it feels like I'm ready for it.
It's tough to consider you at that age with the life path 3. I'm like, whoa. I was thinking somewhere around 38. Okay, like I get that all the freaking time. That's just the way it works for you. I get it. But the reality is that like that number is appropriate for the age range that you're in right now.
Right.
Cool. Okay.
Yay.
Yes, very big yay, very big you're welcome. Absolutely, very, very powerful to be able to do this. Even for your leader, guys, even for your leader, we took a name and we took her to the next level. This is going to be an unbelievable thing to watch. What I'm going to suggest is that we keep the chat going. What's going to happen next? You guys are going to go off into your businesses. Some of you guys are going to create some success faster than others. This is not a race. You're not racing against each other. You are doing what you need to do for you in your life that is on your own pace. So we're not comparing each other. But what I would suggest is you keep this group open. And then in the future, when you each have 1 or 2 people that you want to bring in, we can do another group session for them. Your next generation of leaders will come in, and you're going to absolutely notice a difference in the caliber of client that you start working with. You put this thing on your business page, and you're like, you were here, now you're like, nope, let's go in here instead. And let's talk to people at this level. Who's going to respond to me at this vibration? This is how this would really work. So I'm so super blessed to be able to do this for you guys. I just wanted to quickly make sure that I had all of this. So I'm just going to quickly, let's see if I can do the formula bar. And what I want to do is I want to make sure you guys have an idea as to what this is going to look like. So we go 268 minus 111, so it'll only be 157. And then this one is going to be easy. It's going to be 222 to work with me if you guys want to. And I would absolutely recommend that you guys take me up on this. You'll have to message me to get a link for it. But here's the reality. Let's just take a look and see. Let's going to go and find Nathan's chart one more time. And we'll take a quick peek at how this whole thing shows up. Super loving, very sweet, absolutely caring. Then she's got a love your neighbor more than you love yourself vibration inside of Mary. And then inside of Nathan, this is like, I'm really not getting older. This is like, I really want to stay young forever. And you have all of this overload of 3s, which could be pushing you. Like for me, I had a lot of my parents loving me when I was a kid. So when I grew up, I was like, no, I want to save stuff for myself now. I want to do things for myself. The same thing with your overloads of 3s. Don't get her twisted, your pretty face. But now on top of it, she's also thinking, I want some serious power. I want to absolutely crush this thing. Look at the direction you're going into. So when we get a chance to talk to this privately, we get a chance to see and go in depth to all of this. And I'm not sure if I have an example here close by. Do I have one? Wrong time of the year to do this. Let's talk about what's just happening right now. I'm doing this a lot right now. And because we've already covered some of our time together, I'm just going to do it like this. There is cycles that you go through to see whether or not this cycle is going to be like, let's do one just for the sake of the group. We'll go 4 + 8, 3, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to go Alayna, and this is going to be in a 6 year. So you go 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're looking at her saying, I'm going to do something very powerful, right? 2019 is the year for you to stabilize your 6A2. Let's just be fair. This is the year for you to stabilize your business. Your leaders now want to grow to 6A. So the inside of your business. Next year, you get to go quiet while all of your teams start really building. The year after that is an expansion of your wealth. It blisters over itself. Then we have 2022 says, you know what? I want to spend some time with my family. I've got to let go of all these things. I'm going to become a global visionary now because I've spent a couple years with this name, and now I'm ready to do some serious damage with this thing. I'm going to conclude my cycle. Now we go back into the one. Everyone's quiet. You get a chance to start new things. Everyone wants to start making money or capitalize on their wealth. You want to make new partnerships. Everyone wants to let go. It's a super emotional time for everyone. You show up as the sweetheart of the picture. Then we see everyone starts to have to start their new journey, vision, mission, purpose, passion. You get a chance to be the stabilizing force for them inside of their lives. Having this conversation is like the second level of numerology that I do for people. And it's one of the most powerful things that you can experience after you find out about who you are. How about your spouse? How about your kids? How about the people in your life? In 6 to 12 months, all of you guys are going to have a solid team. Like, you're all going to want to do this for your team. So I would absolutely suggest that we take care of that. If you want to, come and message me. Kyle, thank you so much for coming with us, all of you guys. I appreciate you so much for the kind words. Message me to set it up for sure. Does anybody have any comments, any questions? Anybody want to say anything before we round up and let you guys go?
I just want to thank you for your time, Bobby. And like Kyle said, your passion, your detail. I feel like we all have such a better understanding of all of this. And really, really cool to see how our life numbers really reflect so much of us. Anyways, I'm so grateful for your time and that you're here in this organization to do this for us, for our, combined success.
You're very welcome. Honestly, I appreciate you guys so much for having me onto this, and I wish you guys so much success. Tonight, get some good rest, get some good sleep, wake up brand new tomorrow, go easy on yourselves for the next couple of days. For any of you super spiritual types, this is a lull between transits and planets, so big change is coming, in case anyone's keeping up, and they're looking, Jupiter's coming, and that's a really big planet for a lot of change, kind of like catapulting change inside of your lives. You guys have just set up for it. It's like 3 or 4 days from now where that gets up. So you guys are geared up, spacesuits ready to step into the new vibe for yourself. And I would suggest Facebook, social media, your Zoom ID, the name that you use on your business page, your signature, your call display. Go everywhere with the new name. Take it everywhere you possibly can. And that's about it. All right. So if there are no more questions, no more comments, stand by for the next few minutes. I'm going to be messaging each one of you separately to give you a written report. I'm going to do a few things for you guys because I wanted to make sure that I did this. I'm just going to quickly put this in there for you and make sure we tell Kyle, because she just left. But what I would suggest is, or what I'm going to offer you guys is this. As for a free gift, if you guys do a 1 to 2 minute video for me, I'm going to give you another report, no questions asked, okay? So in case you go and you have one for your spouse or one for your kids, or you want to give one to your star leader in your team, I will give you another one if you send me a small personal video of this, and this is basically as a way of saying thank you and I appreciate you and to help spread the word. Or if you want to do a go live and actually speak about this, tag me and tag my site and be like, you guys got to figure this out. My site is just Bobby@PerryHart@XYZ. I will bonus you an extra 15 minutes when you sign your session up. Okay, so in case you want to take the 60-minute, it'll be 75 minutes and it'll only be $157. Okay. So there's a couple of cool little icings on the cake I wanted to give to you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure and a blessing to be able to curate your names, guys. This is not a joke. This is a wonderful experience. I'm going to have a lot of powerful rest here after this, and I hope you guys all do the same. And I appreciate you guys so, so, so much. Other than that, I will let you all go, and you guys have a great and wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys in the morning in the AM, okay? All right, guys, have a great night. Okay, take care.
Good night, guys.
Thank you so much. That was so powerful. Thank you.
See you guys.